can't let anyone enjoy this song for more than 8 seconds. We're continuing the Casey calls, call 4, 5, and 6. I have been sending Suma some further along calls, and just to, kind of give her the flavor of the amount of repetition of pathetic humiliation he does on himself with, just the repeat. And I think we've got to come up with a 1 minute. This is something that the community needs to do. We got to come up with a 1 minute consolidated pitch on Lorne so people understand, because again, people just hear TCAP and think, I'm not really interested in To Catch a Predator. That's not why Lorne is funny. Lorne is funny because he does the most humiliating thing possible that you couldn't imagine, and he does it at any point. So extra
every point
you can present episode or call 4.
Got it.
And if there's anyone in the chat that's joining us from the last stream who doesn't know who Lorne is, feel free to ask questions. There's going to be a lot of complications on it, but all you need to know is this guy was caught on To Catch a Predator. He's talking to Casey Morrow, he believes, who was the decoy from the original Sting, and they are working towards a relationship. Yeah. Go ahead, Dexter. Anything else?
Prepare yourselves for a thumbnail of all thumbnails.
Yeah. If you are eating, look away for a second.
Yeah, look away for a bit.
The difference with my trust in you.
We're just gonna pause it right away. What is wrong with this foot?
This is what Sarah Boone should have used for her pictures of her injuries.
I think
a lot is wrong.
So what I think happened here,
it's a beautiful foot.
Well, what I think happened here, this is just based on my understanding of surfaces, right? What I believe happened was the entire foot was like this brown up top and then brown at the bottom. Because you look at the heel, right? There's kind of like a brownish on the left side there at the top, and then it's it's clear on the ball where you would have friction. So I think what he did was I don't know, but this would be a lot of work for him.
Maybe he just stepped in something brown.
No, he talks about foot fungus. So
yeah, he has a lot of foot fungus.
That's the least of the problems with that foot. But okay, yes.
So
that's a strange place for fungus, though. No.
Well,
on the ball of your foot, I don't know.
Yeah, the ball of your foot. I guess you don't see that as much.
I mean, I would think fungus would be like in between the toes, no?
Yeah. The toes, the toenails, stuff like that.
This is like an open kind of like,
But this is where I think he used some kind of maybe if he soaked it, because he says he's putting stuff on his toes. He's using some kind of pedicure type file, right? And he's filing away the grit, because like the flesh is a lighter tone on the left versus the right, or maybe this is only just because it makes contact with it and rubs off because he's always wearing not wearing his socks, but also the leathery, like almost dehydrated quality of the skin is another thing.
I don't know. I mean, men's feet always look pretty good compared to a lot of women's feet because we wear a lot of crazy shoes.
Look at the side. So the ridges continue up
like
the side of the foot.
Kind of. Like the shape and this is like a little, like a round, this does not look like it doesn't look like a foot.
Well, it
looks like trench foot.
Yeah, trench foot. That's what it definitely looks like.
Right. That's what I picture when I hear trench foot. Kind of.
We're going to go jail tonight.
And with Jamie.
So I've got this call. He kind of goes through his catfish history with Casey. Like we said, he started out so high because he figures, right? Remember, he figures he's dating the decoy from the Sting. So that's the most embarrassing moment of his life, right? She already knows about it. So therefore, smooth sailing going on from here. Once he just, love bombs her because she's talking to him. So obviously she has feelings for him and they want to work towards being in a relationship. But he forgets, though, that in this story, where versus the other catfish who have met him afterwards and maybe found out about the Sting originally, this person knows about the Sting is now going to find out about the catfish. So it's such a good parallel.
It's completely different because.
And he's going to explain how he's dated her several times before.
It's like with Jamie, I trust Jamie, but I'm still on edge with Jamie and always have been. And with you, I don't have that.
You always has been.
Is this Casey?
Yeah.
Didn't you date her for like 2 years?
Yeah. Well, the reason I always have been is because of her best friend Will being there all the time. And Will was married to Winnie. And Winnie was the one that betrayed you for a year.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Winnie was me and was married to Will.
Yeah. And I never knew anything about Winnie even being married.
Okay. But so
This is
you
call
don't,
number 4.
you haven't trusted Jamie for dating here for 2 years because you have.
This is episode number 4. This might be call number 3.
Yeah.
Because call 1 and 2 were the same day.
1 and 2 were the same day.
Oops.
A friend.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
confused.
see, Jamie and Will left California to get away from them because Will and Winnie got divorced. Because Winnie fell in love with me, and she told Will that, and she gave had divorce papers delivered to Will. And
Because who wouldn't leave their husband for Lorne?
Also, even if that were a true story, a normal person would not present it that way. Because she fell in love with me, and then she, that would be a completely that's not a normal way to explain that situation. We fell in love.
And
she fell in love with me.
And another plus mark for Blue Boy here. He does not overlook the fact that he does not know these are still online relationships or over the phone relationships, and he'll call that out as well. He is really good at not revealing prior knowledge. Very good.
so Jamie and Will both wound up getting COVID, and after they both got over COVID, Jamie had her voice problem. So
those are such
she had a
great
friend
calls.
in Nashville, and that's where one of the specialists was in Nashville. So she went, her and Will went and stayed with that friend in Nashville, and that's where Jamie
that's
still
nice.
is. Yeah.
Okay. So that made her not trustable. Why?
Well, she still has something to do with Winnie's sister, and
Winnie's sister is Debbie. Just letting you know.
sister wasn't trustable either.
Okay.
So there's just things about that whole group, because actually a woman named Emma was the one that actually started the whole thing, and she wound up getting other people involved to catfish me, and it was just a whole cycle of being catfished for a few years,
I do it all the time, Margarita.
and without me knowing
Sleep to
what was
this
going
sick as
on,
shit.
and me not knowing who was behind the whole thing. And it turned out that Emma and Winnie were behind the whole thing.
And
So
then when you're the same
how
person.
many people?
I mean, go ahead, Lorne, Dexter.
Dexter.
I said
We're gonna have
Lorne.
to change his
Wait,
name.
I said Lorne first, so they don't even go worry about the Dexter part. Dexter, go ahead.
The Winnie and Ember is the same person.
Right. Emma or Ember Infiero voiced, and you can make the notes if you want right now. Emma, the first Casey, which was later revealed to be Winnie, who was sisters with Debbie. Debbie is voiced by Tiffany Lockhart. Pretty much
who was also Casey.
Who also voices Casey. Doesn't ever change her voice at all, and Lauren doesn't somehow pick up on.
I was going to ask you so Casey's voice is who else's voice?
There's multiple Caseys,
Okay.
but
Yeah, there's 3 Caseys.
it's what makes it hard to know specifically with Debbie. But I love Debbie's Tiffany's reading on all this because she really hammers Lauren as well. But it's
destroys
She's
very hard to
almost too smart for him.
Yes.
Well, not almost, but
it's hard to know if you're listening to a Debbie call or a Casey call, because she does not change her voice at all, which is fine. Better on her that he didn't pick up on it or whatever, but he loved
doesn't have
Debbie
to.
so much. Winnie's wife, who is played by Ember, Will is voicing the robot Jamie with this text to speech, and is friends with Blue Boy, who is is
In real life.
voicing,
In
yeah,
real life.
in real life, who is voicing Casey here. And pretty much all the other characters, like he mentioned, oh, you move with the best friend MJ. MJ never. I don't think we ever hear from MJ.
MJ, I've heard two different stories, and someone could correct me. Either MJ was that she didn't want to be heard, so she didn't want her calls to be released, or it was that her calls just weren't that good.
Weren't that good?
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a lot, and I think we got to come up with four categories of the characters, right? One is voiced characters like Will, Jamie, etc., right? And the people that play them. Then there's the secondary characters like a Carter, James, Rod. Well, Rod is voiced. Todd, the ones we never hear from, but they just become a thing. Alex
The
in
doctor.
these calls, the doctor, the sex boy, and all these names, Chef Jeffrey. Right, these characters that never make an appearance, but they're always they become very big arguments in discussions. And then the ones that Lorne references that we do not know if they even exist. Right, so the ones we do know, like Paula, right? But then he says that he went and met Debbie at the bar. Like his repeat of names does not make sense. Like he keeps meeting all these people that have the same name. So.
Carter.
Pop,
bang, bang.
Pop, pop, bing, bing. Carter stacked and jacked.
Stacked and jacked.
Has Catfish you?
There's actually, well, you can actually say
Oh, yeah.
three
It
because
might have
Emma was
passed up. You're back up 5 seconds.
Catfish you?
Wait a minute.
Back it up.
Yeah.
what was
Well, now
going
I
on,
could see why you have such a
Catfish
tough
me.
time.
and it was just a whole
Yes.
cycle
British Debbie.
of being catfished for
Didn't British Debbie want to kill herself after Lorne rejected her, too?
a few years, and without me knowing what was going on, and me not knowing who was behind the whole thing. And it turned out that Emma and Winnie were behind the whole thing.
So,
And
how many people have catfished you?
there's actually, well, you can actually say three because Emma was just a friend, but she was the one that was helping to set the whole thing up from some girl named Ramona, which was the first one, and then Winnie, which was the second one. She portrayed you. Then they'd record me.
He skipped a whole lot in that
Get me all
story.
upset.
Yes, he did.
And especially when I was drinking beer, they'd get me all wound up, and I'd go off on them, and they'd record me.
How
And this is where the
so?
worst part.
Like, how did they wind you up?
Yeah, how did they wind you up?
They'd wind me up by having Winnie do stupid shit, like doing drugs, and or having
So,
her.
they, like,
having her-
drugged her?
No, well, she did drugs anyway. I found out after, but they'd have her pretending like she was doing drugs right then and there on the phone. They'd have her acting like she was doing drugs.
Like what? What else?
I'd be trying to tell her not to do them.
And even just could have just been putting on face makeup. There's
Yeah.
You'll hear this call eventually soon, but there's a call where Ramona is like taking some pills or something, and there's a rattle in the thing, and he's like, "Why are you putting?
Kelp
Why are you
pill.
kelp pills? And like, why are you putting makeup on at 12:30 at night?" And she's like, "So what if I was? What is your problem?" He's like, "Why are you putting makeup on?" And like, what kind of makeup is it? Face makeup. At the end is like, no, it was a bottle of pills. Oh, well, I just thought it sounded like face makeup. He gets so mad.
How do you act like you're doing drugs on the phone?
Just like you're snorting stuff. Make the snorting sound. Sounds like you're snorting up drugs.
And that got you wound up?
Yeah, because I never done drugs. I don't like drugs. Don't believe in drugs. And she was.
Well, so
Yes, last
after
week,
she
Debbie.
did drugs on the phone the first time, why did you continue talking to her?
That is an excellent question. And Suma, you know the answer.
I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the question.
Oh, after she pretended to do drugs on the first time phone the first time, why did you continue talking to her? The answer is
Why not?
no, because she has a vagina.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. Of course. Yeah.
You did drugs on the
Yeah,
phone the
pushy.
first time. Why did you continue talking to her?
I don't know. Because for a while, she didn't do the stuff for a while. She acted like she was all neat and clean for a while, until they got me so that I had feelings for her.
Always with
Feels. All the feels.
always with the feelings. Lauren is always being snagged in by those feelings. Kayla did it, right? With vigil or not. I can't even think of what's the sting operation?
Perverted justice.
Perverted justice, right? they made him have feelings for the decoy, and Winnie made him have feelings for her. Debbie made him have feelings for him. Casey, like all of them make him have feelings for him, and then he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
she started doing the drug thing. Then it was just one thing after another. They just constantly think up. Then it was
almost like storylines.
Yeah, it was almost storylines. It was almost unbelievable, Lauren, the amount of craziness in those stories, and they were crazy. There's no way anyone should believe them, but yeah, they were very creative and careful, crazy.
Next thing is sexual. She just doing all kinds of stupid sex shit, and it was supposedly because of drugs.
Oh my God.
Then why did you let it continue?
Because I still have feelings for her. So finally,
That doesn't make any sense, though.
well, when you love someone, you do things that don't make sense. You hang on when it doesn't make sense to hang on.
She was a drug addict who would have sex with people.
Whether she was really having sex with them or not, I don't know.
But you thought she was.
I thought she was, yeah.
That
And
face.
she pretended to be me.
She was gonna have that bottle come up.
For a year, she pretended to be you.
Yeah.
She's gonna need another handle.
So
You
what
go to
did
jail
they
tonight?
say when they were pretending to be me?
His
For-
face is
for
worse
us,
than
it
his
was-
nasty foot.
It was like dance school.
Wait, he's explaining some of the cases here.
For at first, it was that you had a dance school and that you owned a dance school, and that they do a good drive by all the time. And
By the way, Three's Company is playing in the background. Can you hear that whistle of the main menu? Ooh, whoop.
well, Emma said she could drive by at any time and see you at the dance school, whether you were working or not. And that's kind of how part of it started right there, was because Emma would drive by, and she said she was driving by, and she would call me, and she said that she was looking at through the windows of your dance school right now, and she couldn't see you in there. And she said that, well, there was one time that she hung up with me, told me that she was going to hang up and she was going to go in and text you if you were there, and she pretended like she actually went in to see if you were there, and then she came back and called me and told me that you weren't there. And
Yeah.
she said that your employees inside said that you hadn't been in all day, and that's kind of how all that
Oh
thing, the
no.
drugs got started.
So, okay.
Got some
Does
bad
she look
news.
like me?
The last stream says it can't be monetized, but it's because of the intro music.
Of
The
course.
hope they don't
That's
snag
bad.
the other videos. All right, well, I'm gonna have to probably mute that then. Oh, and Benny Hill. Oh my god.
No,
How did you think she was
No.
me?
well, I took
Or
it as
Jurassic
word.
Park.
Well, they sent me some pictures of you, and told me that just took their word for it by the pictures. So I knew what you looked like.
So they said I was doing drugs.
Yeah,
Yes, a lot.
but no, when you didn't look anything like you, I found out at the end. It was very, very sad.
Did you meet her when you realized it wasn't me?
Nope. I met Emma. Emma and her boyfriend Dan. I met them. 'Cause I actually invited them to my house. And they came to my house, and I didn't know at the time what they were doing, but they brought a 6-pack of beer over.
Mm.
And
What happened to your house?
What happened to my house?
Hmm.
What do you mean? What happened to my house?
You were living in a house?
Oh, well, no, the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I just consider it a house. It's
Trailer
a trailer
house.
house. I hate saying the word trailer. I hate saying
house.
Honestly, a dumpster would be more appealing, Lauren, at this point. Just like an open shipping container that isn't on your property, but maybe down
A
at the docks.
landfill.
Yeah,
would also be
landfill.
nicer.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate saying that I live in the trailer. That's why I keep
Well,
But
trying to
don't
turn it
live
into
in a
house.
trailer.
A trailer house doesn't sound better.
Yeah.
It
I
still
don't
has
know.
the
Just the
word
word
trailer in it. You know what I mean?
house. I know. Yeah, I know.
Whatever makes you feel better, I guess.
Yeah, it just makes me feel better.
Okay.
But
So how are you in love with her if you never met? That's where I'm confused.
Good question.
The question.
Because we'd be over the phone. We'd be over the phone like all the time.
Yeah,
Didn't answer
but like,
anything.
No, it sounds good. But they'd be on the phone. They'd be on the phone all the time. 1 second. We're definitely using it here.
You sound so sweet.
Oh yeah, here it's appropriate.
Ravina Denver, $10 super chat. The Sarah acting alone deserves monetization.
It's true.
I know. I'm really irritated with YouTube's little greedy fingers. But polynomial purebred, $5.
You sound so sweet.
I went to the comments in the share stream that just ended and put some intro to Lorne links. Nice, nice. So you're guiding people away from this channel.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Polynomial. Just kidding. Yeah, no, any intro to Lorne links are greatly appreciated. You could also put them here on this one, but
you never
Even when I was
like
working.
went on dates or anything. So like, how did you love
No.
her?
go ahead, Suma.
Just that Tevi says Lauren fell in love with that monotone voice over the phone. But I did start to think, and this is maybe a little too deep for Lauren, but you know, he can put up with, I mean, not put up with it, but like his mother is not that different from this, just constantly berating him and putting him down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we only have the evidence of her putting him down after he's been arrested on national television and ruined their family name. And graduated last in his
Really,
class.
you think so? You think she just switched over from being like a loving
Yeah,
mother who thought he was wonderful?
No, I
I
I
don't know
think
that-
Mama Gwen was always.
I feel like that's kind of who she is. That's right.
Well, you got to be exhausted. And the other thing I don't understand, he references over and over and over in a bunch of calls, my mom raised 6 kids. Now we know that's not the truth. His sibling died like after childbirth, right? I don't understand why he keeps saying raised 6 kids.
Because he's stupid, and because he thinks that him like saying nice things about his mother will make women like him for that.
Guess
I don't know
so.
if he's that smart.
Well, he
actually.
even said Dale raised 6 kids. I don't know. No.
Well, he was raised without a dad. He only
Yeah.
had Dale until he was 30 years old,
Yeah,
and
check
then
this
Dale
out.
left.
Suma,
He was tender age.
Yeah, at the tender age of 30.
his birth dad left at 2. Dale came into the picture at 3, but they didn't move into the house that Dale built until 9. And then a mere 21 years later, Dale exited the picture when he was 30. And he cries. He's thought he'd never leave his kids.
I was raised by my mom.
Raised by my mom. They never had the sex talk with me.
Maybe he never counted all his siblings and he just assumed it was.
Oh,
six.
so that is one thing about Lauren's biological dad. He was the Cornville, Maine, Canada pipe layer. I mean, he has half brothers and half sisters throughout Canada and Maine. So many that Lauren doesn't even keep track of them.
Yeah. I mean, how
Like the Mickey Spillane of my neighborhood.
well, he's like patient zero in that case. Look at all the stupid kids he birthed. You got Roy, you got Lauren. I don't know.
And then Octo brought up a great point. Dale, at the tender age of 30, then left and married.
When Lauren was 30. When Lauren was 30.
When Lauren was 30,
yeah.
Dale left and married Lauren's sister-in-law. His father-in-law, his stepdad left and married his sister-in-law.
Yeah, was it Roy's wife or ex-wife?
Roy's wife.
Right. Dale and Mama Gwen never married, right? If that's
no, they did not marry.
Okay.
Was his mom married to his father?
That's a great question. I believe so, yes, because they have different last names.
Because
Mama
maybe
Gwen,
that's why she never married. Maybe they never got divorced.
Mama Gwen's last name is Cooley. So, Lauren's biological dad, Ralph Sr., was an Armstrong.
Okay.
Cooley would really fit Lauren better.
Oops.
You sound so sweet.
Baba Gadoosh, $20. I love this channel and the three of you. Aww.
You sound so sweet.
Thank you. Thank you.
All that time with her on the phone and going through things with her that, I think that in my mind was real, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So you loved her, and the entire time she was playing a game with you?
Yep.
Wow. And then
And
it was before
when I invited
that?
Emma over here.
Uh-huh.
Huh? When I invited
Sorry,
Emma over here.
I'm trying to figure it all out. Very confusing.
It is. It's very confusing. I know. When I invited Emma over here, Emma and her boyfriend, I didn't know what they were doing, but they brought a 6-pack
Three's
beer
Company.
over. And Emma was sitting next to me, and of course, Emma had always talked about her tits and her tattoos and all this shit. And I wasn't attracted to Emma. Emma was married when I first met her.
Never stopped you before.
Well, it's just weird as well. Nobody asked you, was she attractive, Lauren?
Well, she has tattoos.
But he's so obvious with his main thought, and she wasn't attractive.
Obviously, because he can't, and he is.
She's just too old for him.
I don't know. He seems to not be all that picky when it comes to age.
No, he is very picky.
He's picky.
He's too picky in general, for sure.
And I think I realized the other day, basically his limit is they have to be young enough to be his daughter, right? Because when he was during the sting, 37, his daughter could be 13. Later on, right now, he's in his mid 50s, right? So Casey in her 30s is still young enough to be his daughter. And that's what, he'd prefer 20s, but, beggars can't be choosy.
Casey's a little old for his taste.
She's a little on the old side.
But that's also, we're out of the P.2. That's just younger. That's like, a lot of people are doing that, It's not
yeah.
But the fact that he's focusing on the people that he knew as children, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could. Who know? Yes. Yeah.
No, it comes up in the psych report later that he's jerking off to images of
Oh, I remember
teenage girls.
flag.
No,
I'm never gonna forget that.
No, not the flag girl.
Oh.
He confesses to jerking off of images from girls from high school, but he thinks it's okay because they're his age. And they're like, no, but they weren't. You're thinking of them as teenagers. And he's like, yeah, I wasn't thinking of it like that at first, but I realized that's wrong. So he's just like
he's stuck in that time. Maybe that's the time that he, that's when he
that's
stopped
where he was
developing.
stunted. Yeah, he was stunted.
Right. That's when he finished developing in every way, including,
every way.
Yeah.
You sound so sweet.
Addie, thank you for the super sticker.
But
What does
because of her
this
obsession,
have to do with anything?
well, because of her obsession with me, she started and she wound up doing drugs and losing her son because she got so obsessed with me and hanging around the wrong people.
Come on.
And she got a divorce.
Well, who wouldn't be obsessed with Lorne?
And he just says it like, duh. I mean, can you imagine ever saying that out loud? Well, she fell in love with me, or they just became so obsessed with me that
they turned to drugs.
Even if I felt somebody was obsessed with me, which I can't even imagine ever thinking that about anyone, I wouldn't say out loud, well, he was obsessed with me.
Yeah, I mean, you might testify it into a court in terms of a stalker case, right?
I would
But
say preoccupied or like fixated on, but
yeah,
Oh,
husband.
you said okay. Continue. Sorry.
She got a divorce from her husband, and her and Dan wound up being boyfriend and girlfriend. And Dan was in this same church of
there's
God
Casey.
that Emma was
There's
in.
Casey.
And,
So then,
but then,
how do you know any of that's true?
I don't for a fact because I never did research on them.
What's up, Joshua?
Word,
So none of that could be true.
yeah,
Could
none
be
of it
happily
could be true.
married and everything.
Yeah, could be. I mean,
Probably is.
Probably. They're messed up, period. I mean, the whole thing was messed right up.
Messed up.
But Emma and Dan showed up here and with a 6-bag of beer for me, and Emma had a tank top on, and she had her.
Why does that matter? Why does that matter?
You know why it matters.
Yeah. So this is the embarrassing stuff. Like you wouldn't ever
just Emma had a tank top on.
Just one of those things. Like if you
screams pervert, like nasty, just like creepy.
If I was ever charged with something that I was truly not guilty of, or was embarrassed about, the last thing I would ever do is approach that subject in any social conversation. Right? You would avoid it. Right? Just like I don't know I think Adam Carolla made the comment or something. Like you got these maybe like older couples, maybe the guy's in his late 50s, they're got money or whatever, and he's gets the young girlfriend, whatever, they get caught, stay together, right? But the last thing he's going to do is ever say like, oh, isn't she pretty? Like in front of he's never going to comment on another woman's looks ever again.
He just can't help himself, and that's how it goes.
He might, but if he's conscious of it and being like, no, I don't want to bring up that memory.
He might try not to, but sometimes, I mean, also that's the things. Lauren has no idea, still doesn't understand what the problem is here.
No, he's just giving background information, and they're getting closer. She hasn't hung up the phone. Well, she hasn't hung up the phone, so she loves this, and she's growing to love him because he's being real.
He's not thinking about her at all, really, right? Like, as long as she hasn't hung up, all's good.
Well, he is thinking about her and the fact that
vagina.
Yeah, that she has a vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it ends.
There's a vagina at the end of this rainbow.
Which also doesn't even matter when it comes down to it with his relationships.
Yeah. And most of the people he's talking to don't have vaginas. Like this person does not have a vagina.
We're talking about a British male robot.
No part of it was
cleavage shown as much as you possibly could.
He talks cleavage, like
she had her cleavage shown as much as you possibly could.
and the way he stumbles over that, like his tongue is swelling up, right? He has a very physical reaction to talking about females' bodies, right? Where he's uncomfortable and he like I told Suma, like you can hear him almost dry heaving when thinking about his girl making out with another man, which the last time you would ever be jealous of making out, like truly making out, if we were not, maybe if he's a wife or something, right? But like, that was or not high school, like junior high, or that was the level, like, oh my God, she made out with somebody else, right? But it's like he's watching like a snuff film of his own partner. That's how he describes making out,
which is strange because that's why I don't understand how he couldn't could get involved with someone who he thinks is involved in pornography.
Well, because why you know the answer.
Vagina.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yep. And if she loves him enough,
which obviously she does, I mean, we can hear it,
right? He will be able to control her and guilt her and stop her doing it, right? Because
he's working on it already.
If that doesn't happen naturally, or I mean, if he has to, like, if she doesn't naturally think like, oh, if Lorne's bothered about this and I love Lorne, I should quit, right? He could just beat her down into it, into complying.
Yeah.
Wanted me to.
Oh, hold on.
So I'm like this.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot you have control on this one too. So go ahead.
Margarita M, to answer your question, so they usually will call him, and then so Ramona, who was sort of the first of the funny catfish, because there were other catfish in addition to these catfish, so there were actually other catfish just taking his money, or Dale Earnhardt Jr. memorabilia,
right?
But what happened was Ramona called him, apparently just found his number, and then ever since
she found it on the RSO.
That's how the story goes.
Yeah. She heard about To Catch a Predator. They recommended Lorne Armstrong on Google. She looked him up on the sex offender registry and contacted him. And then what? Boy meets girl.
Then his name just keeps getting passed on between each of these catfish. So they're not really making contact. He's
not meeting any of these women out in the real world, right?
Never.
Oh,
except for Emma.
Emma went out there with Dan, but that's early, like 2017, and he never dated Emma, right? And actually, it was pretty genius. I think this is probably what locked Lorne into the catfishing. Emma, who was playing Whitney, pre-recorded a conversation of Winnie's side, so then pretended to call herself while she was there as Emma talking to Winnie on speakerphone, and Lorne hears this conversation going back and forth, not realizing the Winnie part is pre-recorded. And I think that really sells him on it because he's stupid.
And he also talked with Winnie supposedly on the phone with that recorded version.
I heard she was making comments. She was just sounding like, oh, is Lorne sitting there with his beer? And then he'd be like, yeah, when he's like, yeah. And she would just go, yeah, whatever. The loser. Like, she just made generic comments that he was laughing at and felt like he was having a conversation, but he was not actually, because he doesn't understand how a conversation goes.
He's never had a two-sided conversation yet, really.
And
I mean, unless it's just berating.
And Octopussy brought up another great point. Ember sort of started a different way. So with Ramona, it was that phone call. But with Ember, it was a letter with, I think it was either a shirt or a hat that she sent them.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let's clear this up. Ramona did not really look him up off the registry. That's a made-up story, right? So there are no numbers on the registry. Yeah, that's the lie. Oh, okay. You're answering. Yeah. Okay, Chatterbait, I got it. You're answering Margaret. Got it.
It's very. I mean, even after the answer.
Oreos.
Yep. That's good. But he has only ever met Emma and Dan, and then if people go and visit him, it's like the one-offs from the Church of Cod, right? But they're not characters in universe in the catfishing. So, yeah. If that, as much as that makes
sense. Amber
and
Ramona were cahooting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's always important the next catfish that he's going to go on to, that they're introduced within by the first catfish. So once the first catfish gets burned, just like with the Jamie Casey
Someone else
arc, right?
slides in.
Jamie is there. Casey slides in. It's not quite a cold call. It's just an email out there like, hey, I got your number for some reason. He will reach out and then respond. As long as you get past the first check, you're going to get the call. He will aggressively be like, well, can I have your phone number? Can we call? Can we call? Can we call? Can we call? When are you moving out here? And then if the first one gets burned, well, now I can trust you though, because you're not part of that. Right. So it's a very key, important part of the
And
arc.
then the next person he's talking to, he'll refer to the last one as somebody who he was in a relationship with.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked terrible.
Why does that matter?
Yeah. Sue was validated by, I guess Sue. He met Sue in real person, but Sue's not part of the universe.
Yeah, no, Sue's different.
She's a real person, but she's not a character in the calls. But yeah, Sue verified her identity by sending the picture of the Costco card.
She was always talking about her tits and her tattoos. And and Dan was across the table from me.
But what does it matter, though? I keep asking, and you're not telling me why.
No,
that
let me tell you about her
matters
tits and
to
tattoos.
Does he
everything
like
else.
tattoos?
Supposedly
always
no,
irritated
but
me.
yeah,
he's-
he doesn't care.
If somebody got a tattoo of Lorne on themselves, he would have an aneurysm, right? He would die.
Yeah, for a minute, and then he would probably, I mean, I don't think anything has real lasting power with him.
Because we hear Jamie gets the tattoo of Casey under her breast, right? And then Lauren is like, oh, just floored. I've known her for 2 years. She's never done anything like that with me, right? So I don't think he's against tattoos. He is against other people getting tattoos because, they could be reminders of somebody else, right? Or some past love, that kind of stuff. Anybody that had like a flower tattoo or something, what does that remind you of? Oh, Spring Break 96.
Anything.
Got to get
from
that
the
burned
past.
off.
Yeah.
Fuck other guys at Spring Break.
Yeah, he hates women, but he's not like your classic. That's why I asked about the tattoos and like the porn star thing, because I mean, I don't know if does he hate women? I don't know if he's smart enough to hate women. I mean, it's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like.
He has a hate. He actually, I do believe, hates women. What he likes are adolescent girls.
Yeah, but he likes a lot of things that men who classically that hate women and think women are dirty or whatever. He's okay with like tattoos. A lot of those men, they hate tattoos. They hate, they would never have anything to do with somebody who's in the sex industry. He doesn't have that thing about him.
Well, he's not a Quaker, and that's more like, I feel like that's
Not
more
a Quaker.
Puritan.
I mean, a lot of serial killers are that way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
I hear what Suma's saying, but the thing is, he would even put up that front that he would hate. In my mind, Lauren wants sort of the stereotypical Leave It to Beaver mom, right? That's what he pictures, just with a very, 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 very young wife. A barely legal wife.
With the other quality of completely sexually open to him, but zero experience. Right?
Yeah, but
Like
he doesn't. I mean, he knows that these women, like one of the things I was hearing earlier, he was talking about someone when she lost her virginity, and I mean, someone who's really like sick in that way. They can't hear about someone. It has to be like they're like obsessed with virgins, and
Well, but you heard the call where he talks about how he doesn't like this boyfriend where Casey lost his virginity to. He has a physical reaction to that. He cannot. He pretends he can because this is a possibility. I can't. I can't turn them all down. I got to put all my feelers out, right? But when it really comes down to it, he is unable to deal with that fact. Like it bothers him, right? He pretends it doesn't to get in the door.
everything bothers him.
Yes, everything bothers him.
It's not just the fixation on women being dirty or evil or.
Yeah, and like
He's just a big baby.
Yes.
Well, because before him and Jamie start going out, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Eric. Before they start moving towards a relationship or wanting to be with each other, right? When she was just the friend of Debbie and Winnie, he was very condescending of her. Like,
Extremely.
you dirty slut, you whore, you're just a
Yeah,
like,
her mud hole.
like, yeah, you're mud hole, you're getting pounded, all this kind of stuff. And then later within the relationship, right? When she starts being around other men or like, I'm going to do this movie, right? Because that's her job, right? He gets very vulgar again and just in like degrading in his description, right? He'll say, you stick it up your hole, right?
Yep.
Like he has it in his mind. That's how he views it. But
So he does have his moments like that.
Yes, he does not like what you would call
promiscuity.
Yeah, promiscuity or unkept women, right? He does not like it at all. He even will blame victims of SA, right? Because
Of course, I mean, a given.
Like, because Casey in the plot line would under Debbie, she was adopted by her father Paul in that storyline. Paul is voiced.
That's a great storyline.
But it's not real, right? But then Paul ends up having sex with Casey and her stepbrother or something, right? But he basically bought them to, what was it? He bought
sex
them
slaves in a way.
But also to make them child stars so he could get rich. Like, just a ridiculous story, right? And he yells at her about why aren't you like
fighting
the fact
back?
Fighting back. Why didn't you fight back? Right? All the classic stuff, right? I mean, the real
You must have
classic,
wanted
like the 50s. If you really didn't want it, then you would have pushed out. So yeah, blaming the victim.
Yeah, you should have worn that skirt, and then it wouldn't have happened. And
yeah, exactly.
That mindset.
Now I agree with all of that.
Me too. I mean, look, we're being logical here.
Just put it on record. I agree.
That he's an idiot.
She kind of wanted it.
Asking for it, begging for it, really.
She did that because I considered her a friend, and she was always trying to hit on me, and I didn't like it. I had always told her, don't do it. Don't hit on me because you're just my friend.
He's got women flocking to him.
Yeah.
Hating on him and in love with him and obsessed with him.
Emma just could not get enough.
No.
It always done it, and that irritated me.
Okay, but why is that being...
Sub Rosa, like I told Green Man, don't worry about the characters as much. Just take in the stupid first and then let the characters connect themselves afterwards, and it makes it that much funnier. The story,
I mean, the little subplot almost don't matter. It's just
right. They just add spice to it, right? So when you listen to it again, you get something new. Every time you listen, you get something new.
Why are you just listening to a big jerk?
Like,
Because
what does
they
that
did
have
that
to do with
She did it for
the
a reason.
other girl who was like catfishing you and doing drugs or whatever?
Because Emma and Winnie were friends. Emma and Winnie and Dan were all friends.
They're the same person, but
Okay.
So they were all doing this catfish thing together.
Friends.
And when Emma and Dan were here, Dan was sitting across the table from me recording me when I didn't know it.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were talking. They had brought gifts that Winnie had wrapped up for me, and
Like what?
I can't remember what it was now, but she did a
Oh, you
terrible
can
job
remember.
wrapping it.
what was it? It was like cigarettes and booze or
It was
something.
cigarettes. Wasn't there a douche? Billy would know. Either Billy or Octopushy would know in the chat. What did they bring him? We'll see.
Oh, you remember.
And it looked like a 2-year-old.
Yeah. Faceted Dreamer is right. Listen, Lorne doesn't think he's a sex offender because he never
Shirt with
actually did the
itching
deed,
powder.
so he only has to register at one. And I'm not a sex offender. I only have to register as one.
Yeah, it's all just red
He
tape.
even failed at his own crime.
But yet he thinks he's in a deep relationship with all of these women who he's also never had sex with. So
Octopus has got a douche and used panties.
And a shirt with itching powder, Billy says.
Tempted sex offender.
So, Margarita M., you think there should be a different category? RASO, registered attempted sex
Attempted
offender.
Second
sex offender.
degree.
Razzo. We got a Razzo here. They get treated even worse in prison. Be like, dude, you couldn't even.
Wrapped up. Seriously, look like it was
Oh,
wrapped
Billy
up.
said a shirt with itching powder as well.
But the whole thing was just so screwed up. It's hard to believe that I didn't catch on to what they were doing.
It is amazing, Lauren.
It is hard to believe. A lot of
It is very hard to believe you never
hard to
caught
believe
on
that you don't catch on what's going on right now.
right now. Yes.
Yeah, it seems like you should have figured that out
Yeah, but when
Or
I
like
did figure it out,
when
And Blue Boy gets so specific on the description. Be like, yeah, why didn't you figure out that this was happening? Like when you heard about this, or when the people always talk nasty to you, why did you keep talking to them, you idiot? Like, he gets so on the nose, and he still doesn't get it.
she was pretending to be me and doing drugs. That was during like the beginning, right?
yeah. Well, that
So
was.
then why
that was
did you
actually
still
about 6
talk to
months.
her?
It was
'Cause I
actually
loved
about
her.
6 months after.
Not a very
About 6
long
months
time.
No, not a very long time, but I was also spending a lot of time with her on the phone.
Okay. So what?
Spent so much time on the phone with her that
Only
he fell
on the
asleep
phone.
and crashed into the house.
The
Right?
only time he spent with her.
He ran into the ditch when he was talking to Winnie, right? Because he was so. Oh no, he crashed the car into the. Crashed the truck into the guardrail. That's right. At RC Moore, right?
I don't
Dexter?
remember, to tell you the truth.
I think that's the story of it. He was always staying up late talking to Casey because they would just keep. That's the other thing. They would just keep him up all night, right? Just
All
keep
night
calling
long, yeah.
all night, and he was going to answer. So it's like 4:00, and then he would wake up and he's tired, and that's when he ran into the guardrail.
But he would also call himself. He would call at 2:30.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Pissed
But-
drunk.
He says that's the reason he crashed. He fell asleep at the wheel, and crashed into the guardrail, and that's why they wouldn't hire him back after prison.
Did
Or jail.
them coming to your trailer have to do with that? I'm just trying to make sense of what you're saying. Because you kind of seem all over the place.
It's because trying to remember the stuff. It's the whole thing just is all over the place. It's kind of like sporadic memories of it. But Dan was recording me. He was
And Sumi, you probably understand the all the characters now at this point more than Lauren does. Lauren still doesn't understand it all, other than that they were
Oh,
all fake,
no.
but he doesn't know all the connections and everyone.
Right. I don't understand it well, but I still have a better grasp on it than he does.
Margarita, he used to drive semi trucks while doing these calls.
And whip his dick out.
Yeah, with his dick out.
I don't whip it out might be a little too dramatic. For what,
Okay.
Poke it out.
Poke it out.
Limp.
Flop it out. Flop it out. That's more of it. Flop it out. To the left.
recording me, and I didn't know it.
Does have a mean hook.
So why
Casey doesn't give an
did you
inch, but Lauren
continue to
does.
talk to someone who lied to you and tricked you?
Oh, wait, there was.
He was sitting across the table from me, recording me, and I didn't know it.
Poke it out.
So
That's
why
the stuff that they would do.
did you continue to talk to someone who lied to you and tricked you?
I don't know. I ask myself that now, but then
No, you don't.
back then I think part of it was because I still had feelings for winning, and Emma.
But she was
connected with me.
pretending.
Yeah, she was pretending.
And I'm sure we've said this before, or when the Ramona catfish was revealed, he later talked to her on the phone. Like Ramona, I'm not real. I'm not who you think. I'm not Ramona, right?
I'm
You
a
know, you're-
catfish. I'm
I'm a
here to make
catfish.
fun of you.
Of course, I'm not going to marry a pedophile, right? All
Let
that
me
kind of
guess.
stuff.
He didn't believe her.
No, he
Kind of.
he talked to her and then said, "So, is it let give me a real answer? Is it me or your boyfriend? Because I know you've fallen in love with me." Like
Clearly.
basically talk to him, right? So even revealing that she was a catfish, he was like the rom-com. It's the rom-com answer, right? The
Right.
person set up undercover doing the story for the magazine,
This
just
could
to get
still
this.
totally work out.
just to get the cover story, and then at the end the guy finds out like, oh, you've been reporting on me the whole time, I hate you, and then they show up on the doorstep and be like, we're gonna make this work.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. He's just like, do you love me?
I mean, he does have a lot of Dumb and Dumber qualities.
Oh, yes, he does.
And I'm going to ask the chat right here. In his stories where he's coming up with these things that don't make any sense, there is a story where he says that he was having sex with Debbie and then they fell off the bed and then continued to have sex on the floor. That has got to be from a rom-com. I don't know what rom-com it's from, but ladies, you've seen the rom-coms. What movie that has got to be a scene in a rom-com? That's rom-com 101. You know, the comedy, like, oh, we're having sex. Oh, she keeps moving. I think she's running away from him, but you know, they fall on the floor.
Yeah. Also, I mean, none of it happened.
None of it happened, but he had to get the idea from somewhere. So if somebody knows what movie that's from,
yeah.
I asked ChatGPT. It gave me 3 movies I thought were pretty good. It said No Strings Attached. It said Just Friends, and some Gerard Butler movie with somebody with Katherine Heigl and The Ugly Truth. And I watched them like on Flickstory. I was cleaning through. I did not find any falling off the bed. I was like, ChatGPT, you goddamn liar.
You basically had feelings for someone who didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't pretending, so my feelings were still there. So it was like I was holding on to something that wasn't real.
Uh-huh.
But it was hard to let go of it.
But you get what I'm saying. So when she was pretending to be me, and then you found out she wasn't me, basically the person you fell in love with didn't exist the entire time.
Well, when you put it like that.
Right.
Makes it
My
sound
version is
stupid.
the Mean
After
Girls
that,
are clueless.
Did you continue talking to her after
Well,
you found out that it wasn't me and she didn't love you and everything she said was just made up?
because then her sister started in on me.
Debbie.
Her sister wanted.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
How many women have
Started in on me.
you?
It was fucked up, I'm telling you.
Well, so
Did we already hear this part?
after she lied
No.
to you,
Okay.
why would her sister all of a sudden not also be a liar?
Then I don't know. They seem so different the way that they talk. I mean, I don't even know if she was really your sister.
She wasn't.
You dated
it's just
her
something
too?
Huh?
So you thought you were dating her sister?
I started to for a little bit.
He didn't.
No, you didn't.
Why would you
That
date
was-
your
Even Sue
girlfriend's
knows.
sister?
Debbie never dated him.
Because
None of these people dated him.
Well, no, none of them. Debbie never
It
even
was very
said
messed
she
up.
was dating him.
Well,
whole
like
thing
what
was
you
messed
did. I mean, like
Yeah,
dating someone's sister.
Well, yeah, it was. But I was messed up at the time too. So.
Hit pause, hit
I
pause,
didn't
hit pause, hit
know what
pause.
to think and what to believe.
Yeah, this is where it gets absurd because this is his go-to excuse for all of the sting. I was so messed up at the time, right? And he has to realize that he can't use the same excuse at that point because they're going to have further conversations. This isn't a job interview, right? Where you might not meet with the HR person anymore, right? You're going to have this relationship ongoing with this person. And you're going with, I was so messed up at the time. I don't know. What do you think, X-Eric?
I think maybe somebody else didn't give him mac and cheese, deviled eggs, and meatballs.
Okay. You think, all right. So, I mean, Mama Gwen might have not this time.
Correct. And
And
maybe
Sharon.
it was at that exact moment he got messed up again. Hence, Casey.
Yeah. Okay. I see it. Yep. All right.
I mean,
Well-
the things I would do if I didn't get my mac and cheese, deviled eggs, and meatballs.
It's like the
Are pretty
delicious
horrific.
delight to Sarah.
Yeah, it's like the delicious delights, exactly. And the burger wings meal.
Yeah, burger and wings meal.
Yeah.
All right, you can hit play again. I'm
Got it.
saving
Even
chance
Who to believe
screenshots
in-
over here.
how to believe anything in, and I was messed up with everything that they were doing, and I was going a lot by what Emma would tell me, and it was just
Poor
it was a
Rhoda
very messed up
polynomial.
situation. And it's like Jamie. I knew Jamie knew them, but I had only talked to Jamie like one time, or maybe two times. I think I had talked to her during that whole thing with Emma and Winnie and Debbie, and during that whole 2 years. And then the next thing I know, well, after I'm done with Winnie, well, Jamie's interested in me. But Jamie's the only one that was honest with me about anything.
Was she?
And
She wasn't.
She's the one that sent me her ID.
Did
Oh,
she?
And
Okay.
the thing I didn't tell you about Jamie is the thing that I wanted to keep a secret for the time being was she has notoriety. She has some notoriety, and
Like
it's because she's a porn
you
star.
spotting a stain? Oh,
She's gotten a sting.
She's a porn star, and that was very hard for me. It was
Why?
Very difficult for me to. Well, because it was hard for me to
Oh,
think
yes,
about
it's the
her
foot, Johnny.
going out and having sex with somebody else, and then coming back and telling me that she loves me.
Jobs
okay.
fuck other guys.
That's a very difficult thing for me to grab onto. But she was always. I could always trust her, but I've always been on
Mhm.
edge with her because of her having a connection to them.
And so after
Which is why he
you
only
started
sent
dating,
cock pics like
you became
10
a
times a
porn
day.
star?
Correct.
No,
Yeah.
no, she was a porn star before, long before I
So-
started dating.
Okay. So then why did it bother you?
Well,
I don't think
Because
any of
now
them
I-
said they loved him besides Winnie,
with
and she
somebody
said,
that-
loathe you.
I was just
Works
going to say, did
with
anyone ever
other
tell
guys.
her that they love him?
And then she
Well,
come back and tell
yeah,
me
but
I
that
you
she
think
do
loves me.
Jamie
that.
did because she says, I
I
don't
know, but
anymore.
It didn't bother me
Uh,
before,
I don't know.
but
I don't
when,
remember.
when I got with her, it bothered me.
Oh, that poor woman.
Yeah, she's really a nice person. She's a very nice woman.
You wouldn't know a nice person. I mean,
Yeah, that's terrible that he liked you and dated you, and then in the middle of your relationship, you just decided you didn't like her job.
yeah,
Wow, that poor woman.
I know. I even brought it to counseling, to class, and I asked them if I was wrong in feeling that way.
Well, yeah,
thought I was
if
wrong.
she already
Well,
had
that
the
was-
job.
I know, but it's such a difficult thing for me to handle.
Then why did you want to get with her?
Eric, you know the answer. Suma, go ahead, say it.
So
vagina.
There's part of me that
Yep.
knows that I'm wrong about it, and that I should be able to accept it. But with the way that I felt about her, it made it harder to accept it.
yeah, I guess you should have thought about that before dating
Yeah.
her. Mhm.
Yeah, I should have.
All right, next up.
All right. I think she really hammers him on like maybe it's called 6 on this one of like your life is so sad being like, oh yeah. I mean, she doesn't say it
Is it
explicitly,
this
but it's
one?
I think it might be 6. Your life is so
Oh, I thought
sad.
it- I thought it was a later one. Oh,
No, it's your
that
life
one
is so
was
sad,
brutal.
Almost like, yeah, why didn't you kill yourself? Not like she's saying it, but
I would kill myself if I were you.
I think, well, doesn't Debbie say that? I don't know. Whatever. We'll hear it. Let's go.
It's not on the stage.
Oh, well, son of a bitch. Hold on. I'm taking screenshots of the live chats
Used
so I have
by
to
these
edit out.
catfish. She said they
Ugh,
upload stuff to the internet.
Yeah.
he's so gross.
Okay.
Uploaded onto the, I don't know.
What do you mean gross?
Is this better or worse than his foot?
Worse,
This is him crying as well,
much
right?
worse. Because this, ugh,
He grew the mustache from Molester November, right? Isn't that what it,
Is that why?
I don't know. No, I definitely know that they told him to
They
grow
told
a
him
mustache.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
who's they?
Jamie and Casey. Like, oh,
His
you look so good with the mustache.
Yeah, yeah, worse than the foot for sure. Because this has eyes.
And what else has he got? That
The
stupid
Bluetooth,
That
which is
wonderful
my worst
Bluetooth.
nightmare. Yeah, Bluetooth no shirt combo is horrible.
Well, he's crying in bed, is what's happening.
Well,
She's like, show me your
you know what?
tears.
I cry in bed all the time. It doesn't look like that.
And what you can't see is during the Jamie saga, he had names over each part of the bed.
Yeah.
Lorne's and Jamie's.
Right. Wait, I have that still. That's normal. Yeah. Go ahead.
Stuff's still there now or not. They would
Well,
upload all kinds of stuff on.
I just wanna, to be honest, I'm kind of curious about the whole thing pretending to be me.
Yeah, I don't think that stuff's on there anymore. I think that's was taken off a long time ago.
Same.
And I'll tell you something that I think might be true is that if Winnie and Debbie are sisters,
They're not.
then they both were supposed to be getting checks. Now Debbie didn't pretend to be you. It was Winnie that pretended to be you.
Yes, Debbie
But
did.
From what I understood, they were supposed to be getting checks for like $9,000 a month from some I don't know what it was, some inheritance or something. So
Well, that could all be made up.
if that stuff is on there on YouTube still, then you can definitely file a lawsuit because that's shit. I know I've run across this stuff when I was going through doing all my research when I was incarcerated. So I was in the law library just pretty much every day when I was incarcerated, and I was doing all kinds of research on everything.
Research.
But false impersonation, I think, is what that would be under.
And I want to hear them pretending to be me, just to see
Yeah,
my own
Well.
curiosity.
would have a lawsuit.
Just like his lawsuit against NBC.
Well,
That's something for you to think about, though. That's not anything I can do about it.
but you don't know where those calls are.
With the
That
what
they're
ifs,
gone. The calls.
I don't know. They might still be on there.
Hmm.
They might still be on there. I don't know. Because I haven't been able to go on. They haven't allowed me to go on YouTube. They got my YouTube blocked. So
Is his YouTube channel still up?
Yeah.
if you want to go on there and look, you can go ahead.
Hmm.
It's up to you.
Yep.
Sounds like she's not interested, Lorne.
Yeah, really doesn't care.
You would definitely have a lawsuit, though.
then we can take that money and build the house, build the additions on the house, on a trailer house.
on this road, and people have shown up here at the 10-mile yard sale just so they can get pictures of me. I had one guy stop by when we didn't even have a yard sale, but somewhere along the way he heard that about me having a copier, which now I know that he heard it from Emma and them.
But I'm having a what?
Because I told Emma that.
A copier.
Well, I used to go to an auction.
There's a video of it. Also, you could see the copier, I think, in the background. It's like one of those large office copiers.
Well, he does describe how he gets the copier right now. But it's a piece of trash.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Big industrial copiers, and I got them for like $3 each.
Oh.
And
you're like famous in your area.
Almost like they were worthless.
No.
Famous in your area?
No, because not many people in my area know anything about it.
Bullshit.
People up here don't pay attention to it.
That is frightening.
Well, like in California and all the other states, they don't treat me like I'm any different than anybody else.
What is he talking about?
I can walk out.
In what aspect?
Like what they're not paying attention to or don't.
His notoriety, saying that nobody up there knows him, or
about Dateline and that, or about
Dateline. I mean, I'm sure up there they might not know his notoriety for Dateline, but they definitely know him as a person and would never want their children around him. But
right. I mean,
Cornville's a strange place, though. I've heard some strange stories about like the Cornville Facebook group, like the private Cornville Facebook group, and I think it's a bit of a strange town.
Now, the area, his little patch of property there in his home, is that common in that area, or because that alone would give him some notoriety?
Patch of property? Where?
Yeah, like where his trailer is.
Yeah, no, I think it's normal. That it wouldn't be anything that would get him.
That's not.
He's a big landowner.
That's not unusual.
Yeah, there's no HOA or anything saying, "Hey, clean up your burn piles." And
right, people live in trailers around there, and
yeah, although the area he lives in really isn't bad, at least from the pictures I've seen.
I don't remember seeing a lot of trailers either.
That's what I mean. Like that's a little
kind of cottages, but not trailers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Probably because you know that when you're there, you're going to be there for a while. So why would you do temporary? You build a house so you don't, you get something with value. But trailer house might be better. And I was thinking they could write, or this is another tangent. Like, remember the Giving, or what is it? Not the Giving Tree. What's that Christmas story? Well, okay, so basically Waterville sells all its water rights to buy Cornville a plow, and then Cornville sells all its corn seed to buy Waterville a water mill, right? Isn't that the Giving story, or what is that story? It's told over.
No idea what you're talking about.
No, me neither.
Where each person sells their most important thing to buy a gift for the other, but it turns out the gift they bought could only be used with the thing they sold for the other person.
I don't know, but
somebody in the chat would know this. I can't believe X Derek doesn't know this. You're supposed to be a literary genius.
What are you talking about?
He thinks it's a book.
No, it is. It's a classic tale.
That's a problem.
It's a classic tale. Anybody? Somebody in the chat.
A little familiar. I don't know.
And it's adapted.
Like a life lesson kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't recognize
chat will prove me right.
Mm-hmm.
Out in California, I can't say that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Paparazzi just follow you around out here.
Yeah. This one guy showed up one day to buy that copier.
Mm-hmm.
One of the copiers.
Was he from like a tabloid?
He had something to do with the Church of God. I know that. But he pretended like he had a business and had a business partner, and he pulled up. And
the gift, Tevi
He asked me
says.
about the copier.
Yes, that's it.
And so
Thank you,
I told
Tevi.
him, I showed him the copier, and I said, "You want it?"
Looks like X Jerk's not the literary king he thinks he is.
$20. And he went through the whole thing of getting the copier out of my house and outside, and had his hatchback open up on his van, and decided that he wouldn't be able to fit it in his van, so he pretended like he was texting his business partner, when actually what he was doing was taking a picture of me.
Great story, Lorne.
Wow.
And put that on, put that on YouTube.
You know it's on YouTube.
It was. I don't think it is now. Emma said that she had it removed. So I told Emma what happened when it happened, and Emma said she looked for it on YouTube and she found it, and she said that she had it removed. So
Your catfish.
I've never been able to verify whether it's removed or not.
But I mean, who cares, right? Just a picture.
Huh?
But it's just a picture, so who cares, right?
Yeah, it's just a picture.
You told the whole story about it.
Picture. That's what Emma told me. It was a picture, but I knew that she was talking the truth, because it was before. Actually, I didn't even tell Emma about it before. She mentioned it to me. I told her that somebody had stopped by to buy the copier, and she described the person to me. And I said, "Yeah, how did you know what he looked like?"
Oh my God.
And she said, "Because he put the picture online. He put a picture of you online."
He's so tedious.
She described his vehicle. Something about his vehicle that she described. So I can't remember if it was a video or a picture.
Who gives a shit?
But she described it, so
Right.
it was. I knew that it was somebody from there that took a picture of me or a video and put it online.
Great.
So what's the point of that story?
That's what stupid people do. They up to this day they still do it. Even this last yard sale that we had here this year, there was some guy that came and was asking me about some fogger that
Oh yeah, the white stuff.
it keeps bugs away.
Have you seen that video?
Black flies.
No. Hey, why don't you break it down a sec first?
So it's excellent. It's a short little clip. The guy goes up. Lauren has like this insect fogger thing that looks like it came straight out of like the Vietnam War with like Agent Orange. It looks
spraying
terrible.
out DDT and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
it's
okay.
Instant mesothelioma.
Yeah, exactly. And he takes it. And if you don't know, one of the famous lines in the Holy Lornography is that Lauren says he can make the white stuff come out of his penis.
Yeah.
So with the fogger,
White stuff.
he gets it going and the fog starts coming out. And the guy who's filming just goes, "Oh yeah, the white stuff comes out." It's like a 10-second video. You can find that on YouTube easily.
But if he told someone about that, he could turn it into a 30-minute story.
Yeah, the thing I just said in 30 seconds would take Lorne. Well, he's about to tell the story. We could see.
Oh, there we go. Good.
And he was asking me about that, and he asked me if that was for sale, and I said, "Yeah." Then he went out back and he asked me if the dogs were for sale. And I'm like, "Seriously?" I said, "Why would I be selling my dogs?" And he said, "I thought I'd just ask you."
From compassion.
He looked like he was actually looking around just to see what my place looked like, and when all the yard sale stuff was in a different location. And so it's just something about that didn't seem right. And so I'm quite positive that.
I would have given him the dogs.
Well, I know you would have. You wouldn't have thought twice about me. You wouldn't have thought twice about how I care about the dogs.
No, I would have just opened the gate, let him run away.
Yeah, thanks.
You're
And he's
welcome.
fine with that. He continue like imagine still talking to that person.
Well,
Mhm.
he doesn't believe she means it.
Probation officer actually
That's
won
true.
And if
that.
she
Even
means
if
it
she
now,
did-
she'll change her
That
she'll
guy,
change her mind
Of course,
later.
here, once
even if
she's-
he believes she means it, which I think a part of him does, especially by like the itinerary. He's just like, I'll just shove the dogs in the shipping container in the winter. They'll be fine.
yeah, well, they'll be too busy doing yoga for an hour and a half.
Yeah. As we take our 4th shower of the day.
Disgusting.
Somebody at the yard sale.
We'll be taking showers a
Taking
lot.
pictures
It'll
of
be
me.
good.
4 showers a day.
He was the
Well,
first
that
one
kind
I
of
thought
speaks
of
to the whole
because
women being dirty thing, in my opinion.
Oh, well, but Lauren also loves to take showers.
Well, that's because he's jerking off in the shower.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and he gets to photograph himself.
Yes, and he also gets to take dick pics. But
Yeah.
he does love showers.
the way he acted.
Water feels so good in my head.
Which one?
Yeah, so
Crazy.
yeah, it's a bit stressful sometimes dealing with this crap.
It's only
don't
stressful
understand
because
why.
you make it stressful.
Right.
People's issues are.
Well, I mean, why do you keep talking to them?
Well, I'm not talking to him anymore. Jamie's the only one that I've talked to. Then she texted me today, and I didn't text her back.
It just seems like if you really wanted to stop, you could easily just stop it by not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know.
So, what
But that would mean
what
that I'd have to
episode is this?
This is 5.
This is episode 5, but it's 8th in the series.
Okay, because
So
I
the-
listened to like 14
Eight.
through 18 or something, and they're still talking
No,
about
no. Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
this is
Episode
number 8. This is not episode 8.
This is called episode 5, right?
Right, but it's number 8 in the Casey chronological.
It was originally number 8. That's what you're saying.
No. So Sigmund,
Oh.
you know the playlist?
Because of the
It's
email.
number
Okay,
8.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. No, she doesn't. We're only numbered in terms of the calls, or else they have names, right? So,
Yes. Like the itinerary,
yep.
stuff like that.
I'm talking to you too.
Hmm.
The emails.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Text.
stop talking to you.
I don't want to
Well, I
stop talking to
mean,
you.
like the people who were catfishing you. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
well,
how long did that last?
Well, then, it lasted 3 years,
Jesus.
at least 3 years. And Jamie's
Wow.
when I was with Jamie, that's when it stopped. But these people that come to the yard sale and stuff, I can't do anything about them because it's a public event.
So, but like, you don't have anyone there to talk to.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I talk to mom all the time. I talk to my neighbors,
Bullshit.
talk to Roy.
The only way you talk to your neighbors is you go over and tell them, "Hey, I'm Lauren. I'm a registered sex offender. I have to let you know that I
Shy all the time.
live in the
I
neighborhood
have
if you
my
just
moments
moved
when I'm
in."
shy, but
hmm It just
I'm
seems
not a
like,
hermit.
you know,
I'm far from a hermit.
Oh, you are the
yeah, but
definition
what
of a
about
hermit
definition.
almost.
3 years.
Other than the fact that you live near electricity, you are a hermit.
It's like more of an urchin.
Well, he has TVs on because he has no other human voice around him. Like,
The only person who could stand to be around him, there
Is
were
Roy.
2 people. Tony, because he wanted his alcohol, and Tony's dead. And Roy, who now doesn't really talk to Lauren much.
Roy is his brother, right?
Correct. Yeah. His older brother. I think it's his second older, like,
I don't understand the whole order. There's Richard. Richard is young. Richard is older than him.
Richard is the next one in line who's older than Lauren.
So because Lori
Lori's the oldest.
Yeah, so it goes Lori, what? Lori, Paul, Roy, Richard, Lorne, Ralph?
No. Ralph is older than Lorne. Lorne's the baby of the family.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll play this, but I could tell you.
Must be pretty lonely up there.
Frank, yes, MCL Frank.
Well,
Frank.
well, and, also at the time, I was also actually going over and spending a lot of time with Tony too. My best friend Tony and his girlfriend and her daughter and her boyfriend.
No, don't say
and all the
daughter,
friends that I
Lorne.
had, that-
Okay, so it goes Lori, Ralph,
Paul,
Roy.
Oh,
Paul, Richard, and Quad.
And who?
Lauren, Cod.
and then Michael.
And Michael, yeah, Michael. Poor Michael. So yeah, Lori, Ralph, Roy, Paul, Richard. That's the order. Cod.
All right.
would go over Tony's.
Oh, and you also got a super chat.
Sorry, I just took. I'm trying to save the chat log from the other one here. Wait a minute. Oh, it redirected me to the on stream. Okay. Faceted Dreamer.
You sound so sweet.
Don't try to climb a ladder you didn't earn. Call Emma.
It's
I don't
true.
get it. Is that a
That's
quote?
one. That's also, it's like a blend of a couple things. Some Lauren. Also, I believe it's what's her face? The other minor sex pest.
Michelle Simpson?
No. Someone in the chat could tell me. I can't
Hannah?
remember. No, not according to Lauren. But yeah, it is also Lauren because of the ladders that he earned. The ladder. Jesse, thank you, Billy. Jesse.
Okay.
Who's not Lauren related.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. In the community. Got
Yes,
it. Yep,
in the
yep.
community.
That's where the whole party place
Thank
was.
you, Billy.
And I've been friends with Tony for years. And Tony was one that I drank with. Tony wound up dying like 2 years ago now.
Rest in peace, Tony.
How did he
But
die?
he was the one that I spent
COVID,
a
I
lot
think?
of time with them.
Oh wow.
Wasn't
Wasn't it COVID?
So
I don't
it's like
think
I
so.
didn't really pay much
Oh, too early for
attention to
COVID,
anybody
maybe?
else because, you know,
I don't know. It wasn't
I
around
also
that
had
time, though.
a lot that I was going through in my head.
I thought it was
because
cancer. Oh,
because
Billy
of-
says cancer, too. Okay, cancer.
Oh.
And Octo. Yeah, I thought so.
because of everything
Why
that
didn't he
was
ever
going on
mention
at the
Tony's
time
cancer
that it
before
happened.
then? I don't remember ever being mentioned. Well, it'd
Maybe
be
he
a
doesn't know.
personal thing that he would care about if you knew another person and you were just there drinking.
Yeah, all he knows is he doesn't have him to drink with anymore.
Yes, exactly. And he's not getting bashed by his wife, making him piss outside like a dog.
Right before this thing happened, because I was naive to people in my family, and I
Oh,
got
no.
used really bad.
Oh no, he's going with the original meatball story.
Hold on.
And
Sorry,
I
back it up.
idolized some people in my family that because I was naive to people in my family, and I got used really bad for money because I made a lot of money,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I idolized some people in my family that and they wound up using me and screwed me up some. And
Mhm.
Tony, he even used me really bad too, and I thought highly of Tony. So the whole time that I went down to Nashville, I was really messed up anyway. I was drinking a lot. And then this thing happened. And then going to prison, that's some place I'd never, ever thought I'd ever be.
All right. And
We should also mention, I don't know that Suma, do you know this, that Lorne made a promise to himself early on in his life that he would never get caught up in a sting, which is a normal thing for.
Yeah, I mean, I took that solemn vow to myself. That's when everyone does that when you're a kid.
Mm-hmm. I will never get.
Coincidence.
I will never get arrested with a minor.
That's an odd. Also, that's not a good sign. That's not doesn't make me think that he never thought about doing something like that before. Or
No, but that's proof that he was never going to do it.
In his mind.
In his mind,
Right.
the proof that he pledged to himself that he will not have sex with a minor or get
that's a
caught
Sarah
in this
Boone lie
thing
right there.
is proof that he really never even meant to do it. So
Yeah, and the meatball margarita the meatball story is infamous in the Lorne sort of verse. He didn't get his meatballs, his deviled eggs, and his mac and cheese. But really what happened was he stole money from an elderly couple, retired couple,
As you do.
to
as
do
you do, and
to do
his
on their or complete their house.
supposedly to do major work on their house, and his family basically took that money from him. A lot of that money they just took from Lorne, and he
Well,
just gave it away to them as well.
yeah.
And he goes to Nashville just broke. He had nothing. He was living on like Sarah Boone on the morsels that were found on the floor.
Right, just begging for.
Yeah.
But that surprises me that he had the gumption to do something like that. Was
I
there
think
vagina involved?
I think it was his sister who was one of the main people sort of pushing him along. But Lorne loves get-rich-quick schemes.
And he likes being a big shot.
Yeah, and he likes showing off his money. So if he gets a few bucks in his pocket, he's going to give it away.
Oh, I see. So he had some money after that, and then he went straight to Nashville.
Yeah, they gave him the full
Yep.
30,000 instead of like half up front, right? He spent some money on materials, paid out his workers, everything. They did almost nothing.
Workers,
Yeah, which were all his
his
siblings,
buddies
and
and
Tony.
siblings. Yeah.
None of
Tony
them
is
are. None of them are qualified to do any kind of this work, and the money was gone. And so then he fled because he couldn't finish the job because they wouldn't show up because he had already prepaid them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's like,
And he wasn't buying the right materials for the job.
Yeah, he was buying stuff that would absorb moisture to go on the roof, like
Go on the roof. Just bad stuff.
Well, I mean, this guy built a carport and it collapsed.
Yes.
You can't get much simpler than a carport in terms of structural design, right? It needs no insulation. It doesn't even need 4 walls. It just needs posts and a roof to not collapse.
I mean, I'm stuck
it is
on the
collapsed.
roof material that wasn't waterproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a no-brainer right there.
Well, he bought it because it was cheaper as well, because he doesn't understand water and absorption.
You've heard
Right?
him
Well, I
absorb
mean, because he
so
just
well.
like the pick-a-pouch, he thinks that'll absorb, though. So he should have
That's
thought
true.
that everything would absorb.
At least
So he
he's
should
putting
think-
that into practice, I assume. I mean, that he's using.
Yeah.
And he talks about another job he did where it was 10,000 and he paid out his, either 2 of his siblings or Tony and his sibling. He split it 3 ways, and then he goes, and they screwed me over because then all the costs came out of my end. Like, no, you idiot! You paid
That's
them.
not how it works.
It's just
All right, can you put it on the stage?
Oh yeah, sorry.
But like, as far
Okay, this is the one where he goes. It's very sad.
as real girlfriends, was that all before the catfish?
For real in-person girlfriend?
Like, when was your last real girlfriend? Because obviously, all those women were just playing a game, so they weren't really your girlfriend. So, like, when was your last girlfriend?
My last real girlfriend was before I went to Nashville.
It's Santa. Santa is real.
Oh,
My last real in-person girlfriend was before I went to Nashville.
oh, wow. What was that like?
Yeah.
Oh, in a while
And
then, huh?
Who would that have been? Just based on what we know, that
Well-
would have had to have been Nikki, right? Or Brenda, the one that got picked up by her sisters.
Brandy.
Brandy. Yes.
He'll
Brandy.
either claim it's Brandy or he'll go right back and say Paula. But
Yeah, Paula.
usually, when in doubt, he'll say Brandy.
Yeah,
Whoever
Brandy.
the hell Brandy is supposed to be.
Brandy was the person that was living there, and then she did drugs, and they were all doing drugs, her and her sisters, and then her sisters came and collected her one day, and he's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, and she only lived there for 2 weeks or something, 3 weeks.
Right. Until they tracked her down, found the clues, the proof of life, and got her out of there.
Yeah, that wasn't even a good relationship. It was a short relationship. It wasn't a good one. And
So how
That's
long
gotta be Brandy.
before that
That's got to be Brandy.
It's got to be Brandy then, yeah.
was your girlfriend? Like how long before Nashville?
I think he's even going to say it here.
she was probably 6 months before Nashville. And then, there was about 3 years there where I have one night stands with my friends,
One night stand.
my female friends that were in my hang around group, which included the parties that we go to Tony's house and then we'd have at my house, and some karaoke bars that
He didn't have I thought he lived at his sister's. Or did he live at his sister's and make that lean-to after prison before he got this trailer? I think that's right. That's what it is, right? He had his place, lost it, went to Nashville, went to prison, left prison, went to Lori's, built the lean-to. Uncle's property was given to him.
You're missing one place, the place in Canaan that he was living in.
Was that? Oh, okay. That wasn't.
I don't
Lori's?
know whose place that is. I thought that was another. That was his uncle who had who was going senile.
Oh, okay. Yep.
go to, and I'd have some one night stands then, and
Oh yeah, Mikey's mom, MCL. That's true.
Yeah. I don't know anything. I don't like one night stands.
yeah, I don't either anymore.
Well, you never had one, so what difference does
Back
it make?
then, I had a different mindset. I was bought a party because I was hanging around the wrong people. But before, let me see, I came back to Maine from Washington State in 2000.
It was Uncle Rich who gave him
I think it was
the
2000.
trailer.
Maybe it was the end of 2001. I came back to Maine. Before that, when I was on Washington State, it was when I came back to Maine when I started drinking more again. Because when I was in Washington State, I was there for 3.5 years. Those 3.5 years, I probably had a six-pack the whole time.
Bullshit. You said you went. Paula was the waitress at the karaoke bar where you hung out every night. You said, right?
Paul is the one real person, right?
Correct. She's real.
So he's saying I had a 6-pack the entire time in 3.5 years. What? Such a easily disprovable lie. When you're going to the bar 5 nights a week and you lose your job.
Does he know that there's other drinks, alcoholic drinks other than beer, or no?
He only drinks Bud Light.
Bud Light is
I
his.
don't-
Drunk.
I don't think he can actually handle anything more than like light beer, right? Because he even talks about like even in his 50s, he's still sitting there like to Bud Light.
So then
And-
why drink if it's such a pain?
That's
If
the
it's
thing.
so-
Like when someone says, I don't like the taste of alcohol, I think, well, you've obviously like never had a problem because I don't like the taste of alcohol either, but that's not what this is about. You know, like who likes the taste of alcohol? It's called,
Hey,
coping
we
mechanism.
know the answer to this.
Coping mechanism.
You want a bad boy. Remember? That's what he says to Debbie. When Debbie's like, you can't drink, and he's like, yeah, but you want a bad boy.
I mean,
He views himself as a bad boy when he's pounding back Bud Light.
Bud Lights, not pounding them back.
Getting
Sipping 'em.
ridiculously sloppy drunk on it.
Like piss drunk. Just
piss drunk on just Bud Light.
I didn't know that was possible.
That's another. It's so confusing. Like, how does this guy get so drunk on Bud Light? He sounds like he's been taken out for his 21st birthday and given shots of 151 all night. He's like,
Is he legit drunk though? Or
Yes,
is it
yes.
like
No,
a-
he is drunk, right?
Oh,
That's
he's
their-
drunk.
He is so
Yeah.
drunk. Because he does all the classic drunk things. He just repeats the same story. He forgets where he's. Well, I mean, he does that anyway.
Falls
But
asleep.
he falls asleep. He's like, yeah.
Like
God.
you can't. He just makes noises at
Yeah.
some
How
point.
many Bud Lights would you have to drink? I mean, I wouldn't. It would take too long to drink them to get the alcohol to like.
Right. Well, I think even if he drank 18, I don't think he drinks all 18 at one time. But when he's drinking 18, he's drinking it over
Wouldn't
like
you
12
feel
hours.
So full. I mean,
But he's
I
drinking
would
over like
feel-
12 hours. He's pissing the entire time, right?
Yeah.
He takes forever doing it because he can't drink fast stuff. But no, like,
Or your screams, throw stuff.
yeah, it screams,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
Harry, cheater. You told me when that Ramona called, you challenged me to drink a bunch of beers. You said I could. I won't do it if you just think I.
I always think when I see people drinking like pitchers of Bud Light and they're drunk, I think that's a chaser for shots. Like they've got to be drinking.
Yeah, I would make Boilermakers with Coors Light.
And one
What?
thing you may not know about Lorne when he's drunk, this is for anyone in the chat who doesn't
Mhm.
know. He actually approaches
Figuring it out.
he approaches a level of figuring things out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he actually approaches women, and I was going to.
No.
No. Oh, heavens.
He's sitting there like,
He's not figuring that much out.
no, he's almost figuring out the
situation.
The situation. He's like, I don't understand. Wait a minute. If you know Emma and Whitney and the
Interesting.
Whitney's
Why is it that
sisters
when
with
I
Debbie,
call you, there's no phone ringing?
Why? Yeah. Why does it ring when these
Why are
people
you a
are
male
at it?
British robot?
Are you record?
Yeah.
Why would you be recording me? Or why? You know, everyone I know has ever just wanted to talk to me because they were recording me. Right, Lauren? Yes. You figured it out. And he's like,
That's interesting.
but I trust you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that kind of suggests that
close.
there's such a block there that.
Or the other thing he does, and he gets a hard left on this on a lot of the calls right here, where he's like, "Oh, I'm like, oh man, he figured it out." He's like, and I know he's working for Xavier. So then he loses it again. Like, no, Xavier is not behind all of this, Lauren. Now I know you're just doing it for Xavier.
Xavier would be the leader
They see.
of perverted justice.
Yeah.
Who Lorne is Lorne's boogeyman. He doesn't even think about Lorne, but Lorne thinks Xavier is behind everything.
Has sent
Right. Yeah,
everyone
he's
to
still
him.
continuing to do the calls and send the pictures and.
Yes.
And I didn't go out because I had my nieces and nephews like 80%.
No,
of the
don't
time.
bring them up.
My sister-in-law had depression really bad, and so they spent a lot of time.
The other thing that bothers me is how much his family relies on him for babysitting. How could you, like, even when he went out to Oklahoma, he went out there supposedly to take care of the baby while they were getting ready. But then I think
That's
he wasn't
right.
sexually,
Yep.
he wasn't attracted to the baby. He's like, it's going to be a while before I can molest this kid. So he
Yeah.
went back to Washington.
Thank God he wasn't
Yeah.
attracted to the baby.
And my brother, their father, my brother, was actually back here because him and his wife had gotten a divorce. So he came back here to Maine. So it was like I was out there when I was with them. For 2 years, I had them about 80% of the time, so my concentration was all on those 3 kids and nothing else. So I
Never get recording that. Recording, he would never say that. Be like, I didn't notice the kids at all. The kids? There were kids there? I didn't notice.
didn't go out for that old time. And the only 6-pack of beer that I drank was the one I bought at the store and brought back to the house, and it took me like a month to drink it.
I thought it was
So,
3.5
How did
years.
your last relationship end? Your real ones.
There was no real.
It ended with, her name was Brandy,
Brandy.
and it ended with her and her 2 sisters.
Are you
My uncle.
like, wait, I can't hear you. You're very
I thi-
quiet.
I think whenever this happens, right? This is Lorne. He's on the call, and then he's laying back to reminisce. That's what I think is
Yeah.
happening, because it's shifting his earpiece.
And it always happens in these moments.
It
She
does.
calls him out immediately. She's like, I can't hear you.
And then he'll adjust himself, and then he'll adjust back, and they say, "What are you doing? Why does it only fade out when you start talking?"
Yeah. But also he acts like he doesn't want to divulge this, but he loves it.
He loves it. He would be on the bed, laying on his stomach, twiddling the phone cord, kicking his legs in the cross position, right? Yep. Yeah. With his curls in.
Yeah. Just right. He's got the phone cord like.
Yes. All the Tiger Beat posters on the wall.
Right. Just like the teenage girl in the 1980s or 70s. Just...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I had to move my headset. Her name was Brandy, and the way that ended was her and her two sisters came over to my house, and they packed up her clothes, and I asked her what was going on, and she said, "We're done. I'm leaving."
It sounds like the trailer scene from Taken. Just
Tookens. No, Key and Peele did a thing like that.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I was like,
Why?
all right. Because they were on drugs.
And despite being on drugs, they all knew Lorne was a danger.
They were on drugs, but not that much on drugs.
Like, if we stay here, if we let her stay here, she's gonna ruin her life. Come on.
Yeah, with this,
Let her
we
do
might be
it.
fucked
Let
up,
her-
but we're not that fucked up.
I didn't fight her about it. I just let her pack her stuff up and go. It's all three. I could tell even right then that when they were doing it, they were all doing drugs. Just by the way they acted.
What kind of drugs?
Before I forget, Derek, have you heard the stream with Debbie, who's pretending to be Casey? I think.
I mean, Tiffany pretending.
Yeah, Tiffany pretending to be Casey, not Debbie. But it's something about, I think she's in rehab. And she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, he keeps questioning her, like, did you do drugs? And she's like, yes, I did. And like, what'd you do? She's like, I smoked crack. And then he's like, Jesus Christ. Right. And then she keeps going. He's like, well, what else did you do? He's like, she's like, I did heroin.
Yes, I have.
I did heroin, cocaine, crack. What else? Molly, acid, and at the end she's like, and then I took 2 Tylenol because I was worried I would have a headache. That improv is so good. I was worried I would have a headache, so I took 2 Tylenol.
Oh God, they did heroin and cocaine. And
there we go.
Heroin,
cocaine.
Wow. How long did you date her for?
Her, I think it was about a month that I dated her, which I'm surprised it lasted that long.
Yeah, that's not like really a relationship then. I mean, like,
So-
when was your last like real?
Actually, you know what might explain Brandy? She was living in the metal shed.
Did he have the metal shed at that
Oh, I
time?
don't know. Well, I mean, doesn't every main property have a metal shed?
Every killer's property has a metal shed.
Or a, you know,
Yeah, or a deviant of some sort.
what do they call it? Deadfall trap converted into a spare bedroom.
Oh,
Right?
nice.
You took the spikes out and just put a ladder in there and then put a blanket over it. There we go. That's the addition.
Girlfriend,
My last real girlfriend.
like actual relationship.
Have to be Paula.
I've actually never really had one that I would consider an actual real relationship, a real long-term relationship.
Wow.
Because of the fact that
You're a virgin?
Because you're a
the
creep?
one that I thought I was in, that I actually fell in love with her, and it took me a long, long time to get over her.
And this is where I don't understand the call order, because this is mentioned in call 6 here Paula, and then it's not until like call 42 or something he goes, "Who's Paula?" So I don't know if Blue Boy is playing off that he didn't remember that Lorne had already told him, or that's probably it actually.
But then Blue Boy also reveals the picture of Paula.
Right. It's weird.
Can't remember what episode that is.
It's in the 50s.
50s?
Or 40s. 40s or 50s.
And she's actually the real reason why I never had a long-term relationship.
She's the reason.
So you dated her, and what happened?
I didn't even date her. Well, I did in a way, but we didn't in a way. She had just gotten out of she just
Okay, everyone take notes on the story because this is an often repeated story that changes.
Who is
Every
he
time you
talking
hear it.
about?
He's talking about Paula. He hasn't said the name yet, but this is who he's talking about. This is his love of his life. The metal shed did not collapse because the metal shed was a container put together by an actual manufacturer, not by Lorne. Lorne tried to ruin its structural
I'm just
integrity.
gonna say, not for lack of trying, I'm sure.
Yeah, because he cut a
He
hole
still
into
cut out a hole.
He cut a hole for the vinyl window, which I'm sure did not help the structural integrity. And there we go. Yeah, I can turn it up. No, I can't turn this up at all.
engagement to another
But
guy.
also it's low. Lauren's voice is kind of low on this call.
Yeah, Lauren is just kind of whispering.
And she was, when I met her, she was still living with him because that was the first time I was out in Washington State. And which that was for 3.5 years. First time I was out there too. But she was in Alaska. She lived in Alaska, and she met her fiance up there, and he was in the Army, and he got transferred down to Washington State, and she moved down here with him, and then they wound up breaking up, and she got a job at the karaoke bar that I used to go to as a waitress, and that's where I met her.
Oh,
And
okay.
so she explained everything to me about her being engaged to him and them just breaking up. And so I took things really slow with her, and so that way it'd give her time to get over him. And even though she would make moves on me, and I wouldn't respond like she wanted me to.
Why?
Because I knew that she still had to be in love with him.
Erectile
I didn't want
dysfunction.
it to be her rebound thing, and I wanted it to be something real and good with her.
Yeah, he didn't want to be a rebound man.
Well,
Okay.
I waited too long.
And he
How long
apparently
did you wait?
I waited 6 months. But her and I would do everything together. We'd go out and do everything together.
That's what you call stalking, yes.
And
She didn't know they were doing everything together.
To the karaoke bar together. We'd go to my brother's house and have cookouts there. And
Which is weird because that's the only other place that he mentioned that she was there, right? She visited one time for a cookout, right? So it's karaoke bar at his brother's house. That was a place she appeared, but there's no ever mention besides Denny's, I think, or maybe one other restaurant they went to, maybe Wits End. But
no,
yeah.
This is in Washington State.
No, I know. I was making a joke. But there's a Wits End over there. But yeah, so she was in Alaska with her fiance, then moves to Washington, breaks up with her fiance, apparently, and then he meets her at the karaoke bar where she's a waitress. She tells him about that. Tries to take it slow. I don't know when these moves are being made on him because they're
She's bringing him beer.
Was she rubbing his dick?
She probably said stuff like, "Here you go, sweetheart. Here's another bucket of Bud Light." And he's like, "Oh my God, she loves me."
Yeah, not even the sweetheart. Just here's your bucket of Bud Light.
Yeah.
Well, even in his stupid story, he talks about how he would have go up and get his own beer. So he wasn't even providing a proper, tipping to his girl that he loved. But he waited too long, and now I think it's CJ and is James gonna also bang her. That's the new fiance that CJ I think was just banging her.
No,
James
I thought the fiance came back.
Oh, I thought it was another fiance. No, I
Is
think
it
it's
a different fiance. The problem is it changes.
we did everything together.
Yeah, you could tell.
Hear me out. You're on mute.
She was.
You also stopped the stream or the video.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he planned to go on mute. I'm going to keep it
Just
going.
your friend.
Yeah, she was just my friend, even though we both knew that we were going to be working towards something more. But apparently, I waited too long because
Yeah, what does that mean? That doesn't even make sense.
no, I waited too long before to make a move on her because some other guy from the karaoke bar asked her out, and she went out with him,
Oh,
and that wound up so messed up. I hadn't.
Hear Me Out
it
is
hurt
having
me pretty
some
bad.
technical difficulties right now, but we'll keep going.
I was in love with her, and I knew I was in love with her.
but she didn't
But
love you.
She didn't give a shit about you, Lauren.
I mean, she didn't even know about him.
No, he didn't. She didn't have a
Someone
clue.
asked her out and she said yes. I mean, that has nothing to do with him. Like literally, somebody is going out right now. They neither one of them know me. That's about as close to the situation.
And it would be like I just see some, yeah, like you said, I just see some random person in the bar.
Yeah.
We kind of talk, therefore we are now dating.
Right. I bought some beers because she was the bartender.
Yeah.
And then she started going out with a guy.
And she got really, really
Yeah,
hot and bothered about
real
me.
problem. Yeah.
Well, she loved me, but I didn't make a move on her.
There he is. Oh dear heaven. What are you doing?
More.
Is that better, Tevi?
Hear me out. All we hear is a pneumatic gun. No, terrible.
Not good.
Bad. No, terrible. There's bad. There's not good and there's bad. That's bad.
This is worse than that.
Than what I was giving her at the time.
Well, then why
Guy
did
asking
you?
her out
If you loved her, and she loved you.
because I didn't know that she loved me.
She didn't.
Yeah, he's
I
just.
didn't even know that I loved her at the time.
Oh God!
As much as I did. It wasn't until this guy asked her out.
That's
She
when
went
he
on a
knew.
date with him. She started spending more time with him, less time with me, and that's when
As
I
opposed to no time
realized
with
that I
you.
was in love with her. But then this guy asked him they were only together for like a month before he asked her to marry him, and she said yes.
Oh, hear me out. It's right. It was a different guy.
It floored me, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I said, "My God!" And it wasn't real for her.
What
The whole
was
thing
it?
wasn't him being engaged to him.
That's what wasn't real.
She only used it.
Yeah.
She only did that so she would have a place to live. Because he had a trailer in Washington State.
Wow.
And you have
Sounds
a
like an
trailer in Maine.
asshole.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
How do you know that
Yeah.
is why they live together?
Well, because she came over and slept with me one night. She had him drop her off at my apartment.
That's right.
And then
She had her fiance come, drop her off for a little midnight liaison with Lauren.
He was on her mind.
Mm.
and I didn't make any moves on her. She went and lay down in my bed. Well, she stayed there and we stayed in the living room and talked for a little bit, and then she went and lay down, on my bed, and I went and laid on my bed next to her. And I didn't make a move on her. She made the move on me.
So I think Hear Me Out brought this up last time, but so she's drunk. She's at Lauren's room or whatever Lauren's in.
She'd have to be drunk.
She's drunk. She goes to sleep on Lauren's bed. Then Lauren goes into the room, lays down on the bed next to her, but she makes the first move.
Yeah. Did she hop over to the other bed? Is that
right? But I thought she was drunk and passed out. Hmm.
Something, you know what? Something is not quite right here.
Right. Something kind of
Fishy. Yeah.
assaulty going on.
And that, right.
Yes, that's
That she was engaged.
the problem. Can you hear me?
We could hear you now.
Okay. Yes, that is the problem with this story.
Yeah. The logistics don't quite.
She, for all we know, was trying to get away from her fiance, get a break, whatever. They're arguing. She's like, now bring me over to horny Lornies for some reason.
Yeah.
He'll let me stay, I can't stay here with my ex-fiance, and he's kicking her out, is what it probably sounds like. And
None of that.
because probably still. Do we hear the name of the fiance? Was it James or was CJ?
No, they haven't said it yet.
Okay, because she's banging multiple guys, which Lorne also says that she said she wasn't serious about the second fiance. She just needed a place to stay. So if they're breaking up, she has no place to stay. And she goes, well, can you give me a ride over to Lorne? Lorne's a sucker, right? And she gets drunk and and he goes and lays next to her in the bed. So this is 100% bullshit that she was making moves on him. And
That's
later,
yeah. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, go on.
When he later describes it as warm, wet air, right? I think Lorne is, because he doesn't understand what sexual intercourse is, right? I think his sexual encounters are just, I don't know why my camera keeps showing that symbol, but I think Lorne, he's just kind of thrusting in the middle. He doesn't understand where his penis is, and
He's
go.
probably, yeah. I mean, we're gonna go biologically here. He's probably going at her thigh gap or something, thinking that's
Right.
thinking that's
heat off
something
the
else.
undercarriage. But if he says he cannot,
Undercarriage.
The undercarriage.
the amount of time when he's later having the sex talk and saying, some women I couldn't tell that I was in them, right? That is
Yeah.
that is so foreign of a concept to me.
Bag of sand.
Yeah. It's on that level though. The bag of sand, warm wet air.
Yeah.
Is you can't make it up.
Or
I can.
Yeah.
You can't, but he can.
yeah.
You can.
So I'm pretty sure he was just basically like dry humping, without understanding that he wasn't having sex, or he was actually assaulting this woman, which is really what this sounds like to me.
Yes. Yeah.
She's passed on the bed and he goes and lays next to her, and because he has to reframe the story in a way that he's not the bad guy, claim that, she was making the move on him. And for some reason it stopped halfway, which again sounds like an essay.
Yeah, it was only half a sex.
Well, it sounds like a sexual assault that she comes to during the middle of, and then calls her ex-fiance and say, I need you to get me out of here. Lorne just tried to assault me, right? That would be the only reason the fiance would come back in my mind. Ex-Derek, just as like a man, right? If you break up with your woman or whatever, right? And then she goes, I just got sexually assaulted. Whatever argument you had, you go pick her up.
It's over.
No. Her and her fiance may have just stopped.
No, I don't mean it's over with the fiance. I mean, whatever fight we were having is over. You're going to go protect and help.
Yeah. Like I just didn't want, we were having an argument. You were annoying me. I don't want you to get assaulted.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving you with this chick's.
That is the only way the story makes sense.
If it even happened.
If it happened.
I don't think it even happened. I mean, they may have stopped by to use the bathroom, both of them, and then left together. Her and her fiance.
But the way Lorne describes it is that she's like, I'm done with you, breaks up with the fiance. Now drive me over to Lorne's and then pick me up later, which doesn't make any sense, as if it's some indecent proposal type thing. The Sub Rosa, the Brandy the Paula mystery is one of the biggest everlasting mysteries, aside from probably the Molly in the Fair story. Paula is probably
honestly, I feel
two.
like this is more of a mystery than Molly. So
Well, I would
Molly
say-
is a real little girl who was groomed by Lorne.
I
So
wouldn't say
that's-
mystery. I'm saying like debated. Let's say that maybe it's
Okay.
virginity, Molly, Paula. Right? Those are probably the three biggest ones
Mm.
that are like
The
people are on
Trinity.
two sides. Yes, he did have sex with Paula or whatever theory like we just came up with. Right? It doesn't matter because it could be real. But like, did he or did he not?
Someone to laugh at. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get it all straight, but
You don't have to.
Well,
exactly.
did he or did he not meet Molly? I don't
If you
think
just want to feel better about your own life.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. It's like watching Intervention. I just feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that him and Molly actually had plans that to meet up. Now, I know other people will disagree with me, and that's fine. But just based on the evidence, Lorne has always gone to meet females where he knows where they are. As soon as he finds out where they are, he goes there. Just like with Mom and Nikki, just like with Michelle Simpson, just like Kayla.
Uninvited or invited?
Uninvited. I mean,
He'll
either
do
way.
both. Yeah.
As soon as he finds out where they're located, he goes.
He doesn't have to be invited.
Right. Because as soon in this story, as soon as he finds out, or didn't he say already he stopped by her apartment? Like the next day? Did he say that while I was gone?
That he stopped by? No, he didn't say that yet.
Oh, okay. Like as soon as the first time he met her, then he went over to their apartment because she told him where she told him
that wasn't mentioned yet.
She told him where she lives, quote unquote. But
but she also didn't give him her phone number.
Yeah. So he just showed up saying like, "Hey, I want to do something," dressed like Brian Kohlberger, and and the fiance answered as you do, and the fiance answered the door, which doesn't make any sense. How would you know what apartment she lived in? Because he was spying on her, right? As soon as he knows where the female is, he goes to her. That's why I do not believe
the fiance opened the door. He was like, "What the fuck is this?"
It is not a coincidence that the story of Molly lines up with the fact that she was going to a public place that could be easily run into her if you go there and look around, because there were not that many people at this fair. He found out she was going there. That's why he went there. Didn't realize the fair was not happening that day, or she miscommunicated or didn't understand that she meant the day after, because he was thinking tomorrow or something when she was thinking, it's past midnight. But yeah.
Do you think he brought Farmer with him, like he said?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But I do not think it was a plan to meet at all. Because why would you agree to just meet somebody and see each other in real life but not talk, as he describes the story, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. Okay.
She was supposedly she had just broke off the engagement with him.
And he dropped her off at your house.
Yeah.
She needed a good dicking.
That makes no sense.
But she went to his house anyway.
About a half hour to an hour after we were done having sex, she called him up to come get her.
He says half hour to hour after we finished having sex, called to get a pickup.
The next day they were engaged again. And then it was like a month after that when she broke off the engagement.
Well, I mean, it's nothing like trauma, right? I'm sure right after 9/11, a lot of people got engaged. So you go over to Lorne's apartment. It's pretty big.
That's a pretty. If it's true, that's a low point in anyone's life.
Yeah. What am I doing? I got to turn things around. I got to stay with this
that's
guy.
rock bottom. That is rock bottom.
I just had sex with Lorne, and he didn't even know he had sex.
And she stayed at my house actually.
And there's also another version of the story where after she gets her fiance to pick her up, he's so distraught that he takes a bottle of Tylenol to kill himself. Right?
Yep.
I wonder what part of this has any truth to it.
I've wondered that so much.
I think here I've got you know me, I got my logical fill-ins. Let's say my entire first hypothesis was true, that this was an essay. She wakes up, she's like, "What are you doing to me? I can't believe wait, hold on. I can't believe you're get off me, you freaking pervert, you're raping me, etc." Right? Her fiance comes and picks her up. He freaks out, thinks the cops are coming for me. I'm gonna kill myself with Tylenol. Because he's an idiot, right?
It does make sense.
That would be the panic mode, right?
Yeah.
Like
I guess
I'm finally gonna get outed.
Her going over there at all. That's where I struggle.
Well, no, I don't
Yeah.
think she went over there for the purposes that he says it. I think it's
That's given.
entirely possible she went over there. Remember, she, from her perspective, Lorne is just the, kind of loser, like harmless, creepy, or not kind of harmless slash
hapless guy at the bar.
hapless guy at the bar, my buddy, right? He gives me rides home a lot. He's very helpful, right? He'll let me stay on his couch, etc., etc. I went over there. Oh my God, I got sexual assaulted by him. And then Lorne, I mean, imagine if Lorne had access to a bottle of Tylenol when Chris Hansen walked in the room. just downing
the bottle of Tylenol, but someone else who did all the drugs took 2 Tylenol, so she didn't get a headache, right?
Yeah. After the crack and the cocaine and the Molly and the heroin and the acid.
Yeah. Aaliyah says that he's a leg humper, and she thinks that getting neutered helps.
Well, if
does.
he's a lung humper, well, he is a munkler. He munkled his sister's leg.
He does munkle.
Which sounds so Lorne. He
I
when
munkled on my sister's fucking leg.
Yeah, when he was forced to go and meet his biological father again, and they went over to grandma's house or something at age 11. Age 11, again, a age that's much too big for the story that is being described. You're imagining like a 3 or 4-year-old grabbing onto somebody's leg, and he's munkling, as he calls it, on Lori's leg. Yeah. And crying the whole time because he wanted to see him. Who allegedly took the bottle? Lorne allegedly took the bottle of Tylenol after Brandy left, or after Paula left. Yeah. Not in this version of the story, but in other versions of the story, he says after Brandy left, because in that version of the story, I believe she immediately walks out after they had sex. Not a half hour to an hour of talking did her fiance come and pick her up, right?
In other versions, yeah.
Yes.
There's at least like 3 versions.
Right.
Distinct versions, yeah.
But in all of them, she's the love of her life. She's the love of his life.
Yep.
Until he hears that she said they never had sex. She's like, that fucking bitch.
Yeah, that bitch.
Like instantly. It's within like 3 minutes of him describing his eternal love for this woman. Fucking bitch.
It's like guys on the street who are like, how you doing? And if you're nasty to them, they're like, you're not so good looking anyway.
I think, well, Casey does call it out later. Like, was she sleeping with everyone but you?
Casey really puts him through it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I like that she calls him out on the fact that, like, this is totally non-reciprocal. Like, you're saying things to her. She's not comfortable with it. What makes you think that, and he...
I mean, there's so many things you could do in terms of excellence if you don't like perceive the awkwardness in others. You could make an excellent salesman if you are not like perceptive to that, right? You could make the hard sell. He could make the timeshare sales, right? That's why he was trying to sell the tickets for the benefit concert for the band that looks and sounds exactly like the Beatles. But he's too stupid, right? But he could have had a successful life with his deformity.
Yeah, confidence, certainly.
I think, he definitely did stalk Paula at her job and showed up at her apartment, yes, and didn't know she had a boyfriend. Well, he didn't know she still lived with her fiance. And I do think they were alone because I don't know how else the sexual assault would have happened.
Maybe
if it happened.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it really, to me, it just sounds, like I said, I don't think he got penetration, but I think he tried to, yeah.
She stayed in my apartment for 2 days because
Three's Company's in the background as well.
To, Alaska.
Alaska because she couldn't get to Yemen.
So that's what she did. And it was a year later she came back, and I was still in love with her, and I had told.
Here's the version of the marriage proposal that I'm familiar with, Xeric. You're familiar with a different one, but this is the one I've heard.
My friend about it, that I was working for him doing carpentry. I told him about her.
Lorne!
Fading out again.
Yeah, it's the area. I've got my phone in the best spot it can be in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're laying back and your boom mic is spreading out from your head.
Here. But I told my friend about her and he asked me if I wanted to ask her to marry me. I said, yeah, I kind of do it, but I just don't know if it's really right now or not.
He takes his time.
And well, she had.
And remember, this is already after, according to his own story, he had waited too long, right? Because she had hooked up with another guy and got engaged, then went to Alaska, then came back. Now he's telling a friend about her again. He's asking, do you want to marry her? Which I'm convinced they were gaslighting him. I just want to marry her. But yeah, he's James. Yeah, okay. James, I think, is the second fiance, and it wasn't a Jeep. It was a Bronco. Thank you. Maybe it was a Jeep.
I thought it was a truck. Isn't that what he was paying
Oh,
for?
maybe a truck. I thought Bronco for some reason.
Oh, he had told my brother, which him and my brother were friends too. And then my brother told his wife, and my wife and Paula was her name. My brother's wife.
He just said her name.
Did
Paula,
he just
right?
say? Did he just say his brother's wife's name was Paula? That's what it
Yeah.
sounded like.
That's what I heard.
But I think it's Paul is his brother, and Paul's wife, because Paul was in Washington.
I will take a look real quick.
Yeah, what you could back it up too if you want. You probably got better scrubbing skills than I did. But his friend, he told his friend about Paula.
No,
His
Paul is married to Laura.
Yeah, Laura is Paul's ex-wife, but it's Paul's wife. They're out there in Washington with Paul.
Yes,
and
and Laura.
Laura's wife. Oh, his sister Laura. Wait, his sister Lori or Laura?
Laura.
God, these inbreeds. Okay, Paul married Laura, not his sister Lori.
No,
Paul
surprisingly.
and Laura's kids are the three that he babysat. One of them was Darren, right? Darren, something like that. Two was I don't remember the other girls' names. We'll get to that saga. Okay, so Paul's wife Laura is friends with Paula.
Correct. Laura is friends with Paula.
And married to Paul.
And married to Paul. That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna back it up here one second, because I just want, because the way he says it like an idiot. Oops.
Was her name. My brother, which him and my brother were friends too. And
Oh, he's just an idiot. He's reintroducing the name because he forgot he's been talking about one person for the last 5 minutes, and that normal people can remember a name.
and then my brother told his wife, and my wife and Paula was her name. My brother's wife.
Wait, I stepped on it again.
Paula was my brother, which him and my brother were friends too. And then my brother told his wife, and my wife and Paula was her name. My brother's wife and Paula were friends. And so my brother's wife told Paula. And Paula came back and told me, she said, don't ask me to marry you because you're actually one that I really would marry.
Bullshit.
So, but that passes the sniff test, right?
Everyone is so special to him.
Don't ask to marry me.
Don't ask me to marry you. I might, because I would actually say yes. This is another rom-com storyline, right? People don't do this. Like, oh, I would marry you. Don't ask me.
People that you don't laugh at after they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're not going to believe what this guy said.
So is this all ego from Lorne? Right? Or is it genuinely like letting the idiot down gently? Oh, don't ask me because I'd say yes. Okay.
I think it's ego.
Yeah, me too. I don't even think it would occur to someone to say that to him.
I think if this story ever was true, Paula wasn't the one that said it. It was maybe Paul's wife, Laura, that said to him, like, oh no, she said don't say this.
Yeah.
because she was probably like, I'm gonna press those sex assault charges. No, don't press it against her, my brother, because then he won't be able to babysit the kids anymore. So,
Right. We know he's a sex offender, but we need him to babysit.
yes,
That's a very Armstrong family way of thinking.
these kids ain't gonna raise themselves.
That's right.
And I'm like,
So-
that's when it really hit me that, you know, the whole other time with this other guy, James, was just
James.
Okay, but
There it is.
that makes no sense. Like at all.
She's like, no.
Why wouldn't
I
you
know.
then propose to her if she wanted to marry you and you wanted to marry her?
Because just by her saying, don't ask me to marry you, it stops me. Because it's something, it just tells me that there's something making her tell me that don't ask me to marry you.
Which is interesting because when he keeps repeatedly asking all the other catfish to marry him and they keep saying no, he goes, you better start saying yes soon.
Yeah.
Right. He does not
He
take no for an
loves
answer.
Proposals.
So this is a horse shit.
Romantic, and he falls in love very, he's.
Why would
Just
she
like, all
say
right.
that?
Or you know
I
what?
don't-
It could have been he proposed to her and she said, no, I actually would, but I can't.
I'd
I
love
need-
to, but I can't.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I can't. But he wants to leave the rejection out because he wants one proposal to be the real one with Casey, right? Because this is his everlasting love. He's known he's liked her for
Well, that's not
like for a
gonna
long
happen.
time.
It would be a clever thing to say to him, actually, because he wouldn't question it. He would be just happy with that. If you said to him, don't ask me because I might, I feel like he'd be like, oh, yeah, it's enough.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
She's-
she wanted
Or
to
she said, if you ask me, I'm going to press charges for these
I'm
sexual
gonna
assault.
vomit and then press charges.
Okay, I won't ask you then.
marry you. And you
only-
wanted
the
to
only-
marry her.
Yeah,
But she said, don't ask me.
yeah. That's what stopped me from asking her.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No kidding.
Because
It never did.
if she
It
wanted
never
to
did.
marry you, and she wanted to say yes, why would she tell you not to ask?
Yeah. Yes, none of it.
Was
none
she
of that
like
made
letting you down gently?
sense. Maybe.
Like maybe she didn't like you, and she was just like saying that to not hurt your feelings?
Maybe.
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah,
Probably
there's
what it
nothing that I
was.
won't cross
That
off.
doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense to me either. I stopped trying to make sense out of it a long time ago. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess she probably didn't like you and didn't want to marry you. Otherwise, she would have, if she knew that you liked her or loved her. You know?
Then
I mean, Casey's basing this off of the entire history of
Of
the human
logic.
race.
Logic is what she's basing it on.
Human logic, human behavior. That
And
you
he
know, two
never
people
goes
like
for
each
it. He's
other.
like, no, that doesn't really.
Actually, I think he gives her credit. He's like, oh, that might actually be it.
that's
So maybe it was
big-
like just letting you down gently. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
it
oh,
might
I
have
don't
been-
want
might
to
have
hurt his
been the case,
feelings. So I'm going to say,
Yeah,
I want to marry you, but please don't ask.
yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it's a lie, Lauren. Because it's not true.
Let me down. You might be right. That could have been her way of letting me down easy.
Mhm. That's
Would
the
be
only
true.
I
thing
don't
that
know.
would make sense, kind of.
But I know I'm glad that I didn't. I'm
Phew.
glad I didn't ask her to marry me. But
You know why? You know why he's glad he didn't ask her to marry him? Suma?
'Cause he would have said yes.
Because then he wouldn't have had the chance to meet her. Wouldn't
Yeah.
wouldn't have had the chance. Just like he's glad the sting happened because
Once again, fate is at play.
brought something into his life, and
Now he's really with.
yes,
This woman
What
who
if the
clearly
real
cannot
point
stand
of the
him at all.
it's well. Go ahead.
What if the real point of the sting wasn't about catching pedos? What if the real point of the sting was about the friends we make along the way?
Yeah, the friends we make along the way.
But that's the moral of the story.
A dating service for Lorne as well. Like this guy, he's going after children. We got to get him somebody else. Or what was I going to say? It's embarrassing how much he uses that excuse, like as a cover, like when he gets caught cheating with Jamie by Casey, and then he makes that girlfriend dinner ring video the next day, like, I'm sorry I did this, but I'm not sorry it happened because
Yeah.
that's that trope, like, oh, I'm actually not sorry this happened because it made me realize how much I love you.
Yeah.
When I was banging that stripper, I realized how much I actually don't want to divorce my wife of 40 years.
Let's turn a bad into a good.
Yeah. He always does.
Yeah.
Losing half my net assets, I realized it's not what I want.
Yeah, it's really brought me to see things the way.
He does it with Debbie. He does it on all this but actually I'm not sorry that happened. So stupid.
Glad that I didn't marry her. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Why?
Because
So you're glad that you never dated anyone?
Well, no, I'm not glad that I never dated anyone. I'm not glad that I never had any long-term relationship with actually.
Yeah, gotta be sad.
With actually, living together, type of thing. But
Wow. So you've never been in love?
yeah, I was in love with Paula.
Well, I mean, in love with someone who loved you too. You know what I mean? Like you never,
Love with, a real woman.
like, been in a relationship.
Twist it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Or like took a woman out to dinner or
That never happened.
Stuff like that. Sorry.
No.
That's very sad.
No, he's thinking of a lie.
Yeah. He's like, what restaurant would I take someone to?
What's in?
Exactly.
What restaurant would I take someone
No, I
to?
haven't.
Like that's just,
Mm.
And it's my fault. I know it's my fault because after Paula, I never really gave anybody the chance.
There's a real reason, folks. The only reason Lorne hasn't had a relationship since the late 90s is because he was in love with Paula. It had nothing to do with getting caught on TCAP, going to prison.
no, right.
Before that by Amanda James, also chasing minors before he got on TCAP, becoming a laughing stock on the internet just because he couldn't let it go of Paula. But now, he's probably ready to let go.
Yeah, I think at this point he's 55. It might be time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because of
It must really suck. It's like you haven't even lived yet. You know what I mean? Like,
I've definitely lived.
Oh, he's lived.
yeah,
I can
but not
definitely
like,
say that I've lived. It's just not something that I ever pictured my future would have been.
right?
Like, when I was in high school.
I mean, he pictured his life when he was 37, right? He had his soulmate, Miss Kayla Marie Armstrong. He proposed to her. Well, he showed his dick on day one within the first hour.
That's tradition.
And he gave her his last name and said he's falling in love with her. And
Will you
called her
marry me?
Was that which ring was that? Did we see? Was there a ring there?
No. This
I
is
wish.
Yeah, me too.
Gave Kayla Marie Armstrong. I mean, he was so happy that he was going to marry this 13-year-old. I think that's also what makes it so funny. I mean, other than the guy that came in and got undressed the guy that got caught twice on TK, or I think that was
Canale.
early TK. Yeah. The guy that came in and undressed or got caught twice. Those two. Aside from that, like most of them, it's like they're disgusting, right? Like, oh yeah, like a Dusty McFetridge. I'm gonna shit.
And they
you
really
down
think
there.
they're doing this girl a favor.
Right.
Wow.
But then Lorne will be like, can you count your hairs? Like, oh God. Like the other pedos are like, dude, what are you doing? Like he embarrasses himself more as he's incriminating himself.
The best part is
Right.
she even says, "Why the hell would I do that?"
So like,
And then asks her again later, have any new hairs
It's
grown?
grown.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
he has a very bizarre psyche.
yes.
Yeah. Just wait till the
Like,
holy
but-
Lornography.
He's concentrating on all the wrong things.
I bet.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's just kind of a bummer. You never had like a Valentine's Day, no movie date, dinners with like a woman who loved you. Like,
Now we know this is what he's going to say is a lie because he told Jamie very specifically about the one Valentine's Day, right? Where he went
That's
to
right. Yeah,
the
you're right.
the restaurant and
Restaurant, bar.
what were the details he said? Like, she's like, well, what'd you bring her? He's like, teddy bear.
I was just gonna say he's a teddy bear one rose guy.
Well, he has all the details except for like her name.
Where they went.
Like he says, I'm pretty sure I ordered a steak.
And she
And-
got the seafood.
She got the seafood. I got the steak and then like potato, I think. But I got her a bear. And the bear had like a red heart. And
Yeah,
like
red
all this
heart.
stuff. What was her name? Can't remember.
Brandy.
Where was it? I can't remember the name. Like, there's no way this story happened then, Lauren.
Also, those are the easiest things to make up.
Right.
Come up with something.
And at that point, I think he even says at that point it was like 13 years before. Right? There's no way you would remember that. And they even went out, I think, because there was nobody else, right? They're like, oh, we each need a Valentine's date or something like that. Because that's another great story. When a Valentine's Day just for you, that one's on Reborn. When he's crying over the fact that she says, I don't want to be your Valentine's Day. That's stupid. What are you in eighth? What are you 8? But even going through that embarrassment, he's about to say what he's about to say now, because this is after that.
you love her,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
I've always wanted that too.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone does.
It really sucks because Valentine's Day comes around and I don't have that special someone there that I can do things for and stuff that I love doing.
Yeah, you've never done any of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
want to be my first.
That's kind of
Did you hear that?
No,
He
I
said,
didn't.
want to be my first?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell when he's trying to like he gets lost talking about himself and his, as Margarita says, conquests. He's regaling us with his conquests. He gets lost in that, but then you can tell when he's trying to steer it back to, when he starts like it's sad because I never have anyone on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
He's trying to like redirect.
He's dry begging. That's what we learned. Okay,
Right.
yes. All right. You want to be my first? Okay, so Suma, does she say yes, no, or no answer?
No.
Okay. Then what is Lauren going to do?
Laugh?
Yeah, but
No.
I mean, that would have been just as funny. Well, here,
shocking to me.
Want to be
no answer. So just go in again.
my first.
Just- Three's Company in the background.
Oh, life's taking some funny turns.
Mhm.
So she says
Yeah, I
no.
just
Nothing.
could
Try
never
to assault a
imagine.
minor.
It's like, I don't know. being
Turn
in
off the
my
goddamn
50s
Three's
or
Company, Lauren.
whatever, and like never experiencing any of that. Kind of a bummer.
It is a bummer.
Yeah. I'm very sad for you.
This is the perfect time to down a bottle of Tylenol.
Yeah.
Thank you, I think.
Did you hear that? I'm very sad for you. He goes, thank you, I think. No, she's pitying you. It's not a
She's
thank
shitting
you.
on you.
Yes. She's not even really pitying you. She's just shitting on you. Like,
Yeah.
you're pathetic. Thank you, I think.
I mean, he continues this conversation.
Yeah, it's call 6 out of 87. So,
Right. Things are just, to be fair, he's just warming up.
Even though I've never experienced those things that I've always really wanted to experience with a relationship, I've never felt alone.
is that why you keep 2 TVs on, Lauren? He's never felt alone. And the reason we know this is because he's always getting trolled in Catfish. So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you had those catfish, right?
There you go.
No, I mean because of family.
Oh,
Your family hates you.
I know,
Yeah.
but you're not like dating your family. Unless
No,
you
I'm not
are. I
dating
don't
my
know
family.
what people are
No,
dating
no, he
do.
would date his family.
No, too funny. No, I don't date my family. That's the one huge no.
His family wouldn't date him.
did you catch that? What he just said?
I wouldn't
the-
date my family.
That's
The
the
one thing I won't do.
the one huge no. He only know
Yeah.
one. You don't bang Armstrongs, kids.
You don't bang your kin.
Yeah, and plus my brother's kids. That's not like
That's different.
immediate. That's not blood. It's half somebody else. So
Yeah, but you've never like made love to a woman.
It's true. I can't say that I have.
pour a weak coffee. I can hear all these
Wow.
things in the background.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can't say that because that one time with Paula, I was in love with her.
Right. But like,
And you described it as warm, wet air and said it was terrible later. And then you tried to kill yourself.
two people in love with each other, like, you know, you've kind of been like
Yeah.
romantically alone your entire life.
Yeah. Yep.
He romanticizes that, but he doesn't realize that's not what she's doing.
She's
Right.
gonna make me sad.
I know, you're making me sad. I could never imagine going through that.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well,
I
don't be
want
sorry to
sad.
me. I've been in love.
Yep. I definitely want a different future.
And you've been doing so much to get there, Lauren.
I want a future with somebody that gives a shit and that's honest. And
Somebody who gives a shit?
Somebody who gives a shit and who's
Is
honest.
honest.
that actually
So the
wants to
opposite of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that actually wants to, what's he going to say?
enjoy life.
Mhm.
Because that's what Lauren does. Lauren makes the best out of
And
most
his
out of every
upside-down
day.
trailer.
He's living.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's 2 a.m. for you guys, so
Yeah.
guess we have to end it here. But everyone have a great 4th of July. X Derek, Suma, you want any final comments you want to make?
just thank you for, of course, as always, a really good time.
And everyone remember Uber. Right?
Bad.
Uber, yes, you can get
Uber,
raped.
bad.
You can get raped by the driver.
Great
According to
mobile.
Lauren.
That's what they should
It
call
is.
it. Just
Uber
may
is
as well.
dangerous.
I've been hearing about Uber drivers rape their passengers. Well, fortunately, mine just drove me home. So,
Mm.
That's why I take yellow cabs, because
well, you can always hail a cab in New York. You don't understand what it's like out here.
no,
You-
I
you
know
can never-
people take Ubers here though, and it's ridiculous.
Well,
Sometimes.
before Uber, getting a cab was impossible. You would be asking for a cab. You called the cab company and say, "I'm at this place. Can you get a cab?" And they'd be like, Yeah, we can dispatch somebody out there in the next 15 to 2 hours, or 50 minutes to 2 hours. You're like, well, are they close or not? Like, and then you wait like 45 minutes. You're like, hey, I called for a cab 45 minutes ago. Like, yeah, you're in the dispatch. You could be there in the next 1 to 2 hours. I mean, nobody. That's why everyone was driving drunk. It was like, you can't get a ride. Like, I got to get home eventually. There's not even a promise. They're like, yes, we will be there in 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. You're going to be here in 2 hours. I'll go back in and have another one. Like, please be ready in the next 15 to 4 hours.
Yeah, Uber has changed a lot for places that you can't just have a cab.
All right. Well, everyone, do I have an outro in there? Yeah, one that won't demonetize this. Okay. Everyone have a good day. A good night. Good weekend,
everyone.
See you next week.
Yeah.
I mean,